Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in, welcome in. Getting ready for the show. Hope you're having a great morning. Let me know if you can hear me. If you're in the chat, Kenny, what up, dude? What up, man? Thank you for always being up in here. Let me know if you can hear me this morning. Know that yesterday, when we first got on, we had a little problem. Coffee in hand. That's right. I'm using my Jay Cody show mug. Shout out to my guys, Jay and Chuck. Been up crunching the numbers since 4:30. Can y'all can hear me? I'm assuming, right? Nobody saying anything yet. Let me know. Oh, good audio. That's what we like to hear there, Kenny. Let's go, dude. All right, I'm just gonna be getting ready for the show, chilling. Gerald, what up? Um, look, boys. I don't know about y'all. It's schedule release day, and I am a I don't know why. I love looking at schedules. I think they're fascinating to break down. I think you get an idea of the peaks and valleys of the season, the direction it goes. So I can't wait to talk about it. Yup. We got some Saint stuff. Mickey Loomis yesterday. Got Mintz stopping by. Pelicans finally win. We got Chef Michael Johnson. If you want to go ahead and start to get in your munchies questions, feel free. Hope everyone's having a great morning. What's the best breakfast cheese? Some say Gouda. Some say American. I don't know if I have a dog in the fight. I was just looking for something to eat this morning. I saw string cheese and I was like, do I want this? Do I not want this? And I actually ended up deciding I didn't want it. Thought cheese and coffee might be a bad combination. I could get this mic just over a little bit more. What do I want to put this over? Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit better right there. No, I did not give Gerald any of the string cheese this time. Should though. I mean, he will smash it. You know what he loves to smash? That dude will smash really anything, but he'll smash Cheeto puffs like a beast. Oh, come on. Why is this not working? There we go. All right. All right then. All right then. Dried shrimp, cats, dogs, humans. We all like them. Cajun Ken, I don't know that I've ever actually had fried shrimp. Or, excuse me, fried. Dried shrimp. You mean like that? Those like dehydrated shrimps? Those little dehydrated shrimps? Hey, man. I'm not here to hate on anybody. You do your thing, dog. Let's print some stuff for headlines. Oh, wait, I need to go ahead and share this, don't I? Schedule does set up pretty nicely for LSU. I'm starting to think this is going to be year in and year out thing. When you look at now, that's 2 years in a row. Ever since you kind of moved around Auburn and Mississippi State and Texas A&M, it seems like LSU is going to have these great ramp up periods into that November climax, and then ultimately that kind of last half of October, November climax, and then that'll decide what the ultimate fate of LSU will be. Kenny, I will ask my wife exactly what these chairs are. We got 2 of them. I think they're not too expensive. They're like 250 or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what they are, but they're comfortable. And really, on the hardwood, the rollerblade wheels are the bomb. Good back support too. Look how bright this. Oh my god! I have this light turned around backwards, and I think it's giving too much light off. Should I turn off? I wonder if I should turn off those up there.
All right, T, I got to go run down to 2.
One of the best parts. Didn't really change anything. Whoa, actually, that made the lighting way worse. Muso, were you trying to talk to me? Yeah, no, Emil, you don't get it yet, Alex. Well, I hate beating that. That's a weird gatekeeping thing. Alex gets it, dude. Alex gets it. Once you have kids, Disney Plus is great on multiple levels. Not only because it has like everything that your kids watch, but it's actually got stuff that you're into that you know you can watch in front of your kids, which is about as solid as you can get, right? The gallery show, if you're into Mandalorian, the gallery show on Netflix behind the scenes of Mandalorian is incredible. But yeah, I put that Disney Plus on so we can have Star Wars original trilogy rolling in the background all day. Look at that opening crawl. Are you kidding me? The other great part about having kids is eating all their snacks. Those little fucking blueberry muffins are so good, dude. Also, they just put Isle of Dogs on Disney Plus, which I'd never seen. I'm enjoying it. I haven't finished it yet, but like, I'm wondering how that happens. Oh man, what's GameStop doing now? Yeah, solid Wes Anderson film. I mean, I love, and it has fantastic Mr. Fox. So I don't know what the connective. I gotta stop saying connective tissue. Every now and then I fall into these ruts where I say the same phrase and words, and that thing is just stuck in my head. Um, I don't know what the connection between Wes Anderson and Disney Plus is, but they have both fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. Oh, Brant, what's up, dude? Yeah, that was in the SEC fan zone type thing. That's awesome, dude. Um, Emil, what is the fixed stop point at AMC? What are you talking about? Oh my god. Okay. GameStop's at 480. AMC's teetering. I don't think that was Little Debbie's. What blueberry muffin was that? Oh man, y'all can't really see it, but Vader is just straight choking people out behind me. Brown Bear, what's up, T-Bob? Woke up 3 inches of snow here in Virginia. My girlfriend from Pennsylvania's excited, and I share this excitement. I feel like I would be really excited for snow when I first started to live in a place that had snow, but I could see it getting very old very fast. That said, I've never lived in a place that had snow consistently, so I do think it'd be kind of cool. The kids are asking for breakfast, T-Bob, cinnamon toast crunch, or bacon and eggs. How much effort do you want to put in, Brant? I mean, neither high effort, but obviously cinnamon toast crunch is as easy as it gets. I will say this: I'm getting into the cast iron game. I don't know why it's taking me so long. I've had one for a while, just never really used it, and now I just cook everything. Now I just cook everything on the cast iron, medium low heat, unless you're searing meat, and nothing sticks to it, dude. Them eggs, god damn, them eggs that the cast iron skillet can make. I mean, it makes everything good, but them eggs, something tasty. To be fair, I don't really know how to season the cast iron. I don't know. I don't know. I need to look it up. I don't know if some of that is maybe overrated a bit. As long as you take care of it, I don't know. I will like kind of oil it down every now and then. So I don't actually know if it's seasoned or not. I know it's making really good food though, and nothing's sticking to it, and it's got a great color. So I don't know. I mean, I don't put soap on it, obviously.
I'm back if you need me to.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, I have glanced. I've started to dip my toe in the cast iron subreddit waters, and like the cast iron game goes deep, Christian. And yeah, the amount of what was it? The amount of just like seasoning talk and kind of seasoning pissing contest that goes on can be pretty crazy. You think Tiger basketball will win 3 of the next 4? Tough stretch. Look at LSU's basketball schedule. To be fair though, I don't know, man. I've been hit the Megs with the goat Gouda and the cast iron though. Legendary. I could definitely see that, Christian. That's incredible. Most already season with Bond don't use soap though and oil after using. So I do use a tiny amount of butter with a lot of things. Does that count as oil? I guess so. I don't know. I need to look up more how to take care of it. Yes, Kenny, porcelain cast iron. That's just incredible. That's what I make my gumbo in. One of them, I think that's like the Le Creuset. I'm guessing if that's what we're talking about. And that makes, oh my God, you want to make a roux? Shout out Megan making money. I saw her making that roux in one of them Le Creusets, and I was like, oh, I need to start doing that. And then it made the best gumbo and the best roux that I've ever had. Yeah, those next 4 games for basketball looks terrible. I don't know why Kenny's comment isn't showing up over here. Okay, I'm getting distracted. All right. Boom, boom, boom. You know anybody else? But when I work, I love listening to lo-fi hip hop beats. Why is this taking me to fucking ESPN? Get the fuck. What the fuck? Yeah, cats are awesome, dude. Obviously. I do think there's something deeper, Alex, in where you're talking about how you need to be it's a good question. Is a dog's love cheapened because it's given so freely? I like both. Dogs are more work, cats are more chill. But then again, whatever. Cats are like having a roommate. You like dap your cat up, be like, yo, what's up, dude? And some days y'all might just not even talk to each other. I would say Brant. Brant Robin. Okay, Cajun Kid. I've actually been doing that with my cast iron. I even put on a very low heat to help it dry completely, and then yeah, just a tiny, tiny bit of like olive oil. Like you said, a thin film. Good. I need to clean with hot water though, not cold water. That's good enough. Dogs aren't really like a friend though. Dogs are more like a kid. They're too stupid and all loving to be your friend. Like your friend, like you can beat the shit out of a dog and he'd still be obsessed with you. You can't beat the shit out of your friend and have him still be obsessed with you. Unless you drop to Gardner Johnson and Mike Thomas. Oh yeah. Oh boys. Sorry. If that's what it sounds like you masturbate. If that's what it sounds like when you masturbate a meal, you are using entirely too much lubricant. That's an absurd sound. Should I eat Pop-Tarts or strudels for breakfast? I've not had a Pop-Tart or a strudel in a very long time. Come on, just print the fucking thing. Hold on, I gotta go pass the baby off to the wife. Well, motherfuck. Why would it be offline? I was trying to print some stuff for headlines, but I don't think it's gonna work. Oh well, y'all. Sorry about that.
BetMGM Book Bar and Grill is the ultimate
Yes.
sports lover's
Yes,
experience in the South's premier destination. We've got everything you need to keep you in the
That was a long
game,
time
making those
ago.
W's that much more
Russo, can you
exciting,
take these
and the
commercials
upsets
out?
just a little more tolerable. Serving award-winning food, a large selection of drafts, plus happy hour and midweek specials. We'll treat you like royalty in the king of sportsbooks. BetMGM Book Bar and Grill, only at Beau Rivage. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-77.
My man, thank you. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody hit that like button, man, so it'll get spread out to other people. Share it on your social media if you feel so inclined. Also, get your munchies questions in for Chef Michael Johnson. Todd Jones looks like a third of the league's interested in Stafford. Patriots best chance of most money to get him. Here's the question, though. Why would Matt Stafford go to the New England Patriots? Did this year not kind of bust up the myth on Bill Belichick. I'm look, Belichick's a great coach. I think the Patriots will be good, right? But like, it's obvious now that Tom Brady was the one bringing them to all of those Super Bowls. Is Stafford ready to do that? Or does he want to go to New Orleans where, I mean, not only that, Bill Belichick's a defensive coach. Vic Fangio of the Broncos, a defensive coach. And Frank Reich in Indianapolis and Sean Payton in New Orleans, you have offensive coaches. The Saints have gone 8-1 with decent quarterback play the last 2 years. Matt Stafford has to be attracted to that, right? The Patriots finished like 7-9, 6-10 with bad quarterback play. So I don't know. I maybe he would go to the Patriots, but it just seems like such a miserable place to work anyway. I don't know if I'm fully behind it. Oh, that's a good point. I forgot. The Patriots did have a ton of guys opt out, though. But again, why is everybody opting out of New England? Probably because it's a miserable fucking place to work. Can Tigers pitching get to them Omaha this year, Brant? Yeah, I mean, Musso says the pitching's great. Says the hitting might be the issue.
One minute.
Pop-Tarts or strudels? Strudels. What's the best strudel? Brown sugar? Is brown sugar cinnamon both the best strudel and the best Pop-Tart? That's how I feel. A bidding war will keep the Saints out of the Stafford hunt. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, the Saints can do a bidding war in draft capital. I mean, they're about to get 3 third-round compensatory picks, so they can do that. What's my favorite dish of walk-on? Just got one in Knoxville. I don't know. I don't know that I have a dish that I maybe love at walk-ons. Randomly, I think they make good sliders. Back in the day, I used to get that Zydeco salad a lot, which is like a shrimp, tasty Asian shrimp type of deal. Oh, yeah, Robert. We talked about Billy and Body yesterday, but they are looking at.
Good morning at 7 a.m. on Thursday, January the 28th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 58. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU Athletics Executive Chef Michael Johnson joins us at 7:30 to answer your Munchie questions. Get those into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Use the hashtag Munchies. Barstool Sports' Ben Mintz stops by at 8 a.m. From Pro Football Focus, Brad Spielberger joins the show at 8:30. And Scott Kushner of the New Orleans Advocate Times-Picayune talks Pels at 9:30. Follow the show today on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Hour number 1 of OTB starts right now.
Yeah, give me some good questions for Chef. Hashtag Munchies. Put them in the chat.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in Thursdays Off the Bench, Casa de Aber edition numbre tres, as we are numero. I screwed it up again. Sorry, Danny, wherever you're listening from. I'm your host of Off the Bench, T-Bob Aber, here on 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. Once again, I am at home, COVID contact tracing. Still feeling great, though. I'm feeling very robust, fingers crossed. I've been eating sumo oranges. I got my blood pumping with vitamin C. We'll see if any of that can stand up. We'll see where it all goes. We'll see where the show goes, though, and I'm very excited. Why? Because a lot of my favorite topics are on the line. First off, we're talking schedule. The LSU schedule was released, and I don't know, through the years of doing this job, I've come to realize I think I'm a bit of a scheduling nerd. I love breaking it down. I think there's so many different incredible angles you can take. And I think that with the recent schedule adjustments, right, moving around the A&M game, the Auburn games, Mississippi State games, it's looking like year in and year out, LSU's starting to develop a pretty nice rhythm in terms of setting you up for success. So we'll get into that. We'll break it down into 4 quarters. What does each quarter mean? I mean, like I said, I'm become a bit of a schedule nerd. We're going to get Chef Michael Johnson at 7:30, so go ahead and start to get your Munchies questions in. Remember, you can ask Chef anything. He is the man. He can answer it all. Pelly's win, baby. Let's go. Ben Mintz coming up at 8 o'clock. At 8:30, we'll have on Brad Spielberger, writes for PFF, covers the cap, over the cap. Get a national perspective on the Saints cap, what they can do. The Saints and Mickey Loomis were in the media yesterday, and then I've got an article about Tom Brady numbers for the final hour that will completely blow your mind. So if you want to come hang out with us, I will be here all morning long. GameStop is still killing it right now, almost at $500 as we talk right now, which is wild. To be clear, I don't have any skin in the GameStop game. It was a little too rich for my blood when all this stuff started to take off, but it's really crazy to watch outside looking in. Let's go ahead then, and on this Friday Eve, we're here on the edge of the weekend, boys and girls, so get ready and let's dive into some headlines.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They're your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
The first big news, like we said, to start things off, LSU football's 2021 schedule has been announced. And call us the Barbecue Guys because we're cooking, baby. That's right. You're going to open up in the Rose Bowl, UCLA. Here's to hoping that the pandemic will be under control by then, that we can put people in stadiums once again, because I know that LSU fans have always wanted to visit the Rose Bowl. And what better way than to start a brand new year with fresh faces, renewed hope. Oh, when all your dreams come true. Love it. So you're going to start visiting UCLA. Then McNeese State at home, Central Michigan at home before conference play begins. It's going to start in Starkville at Mississippi State, followed by at home versus Auburn, at Kentucky, return home to Florida, then at Ole Miss. A nice little bye, as one does, before you go to Tuscaloosa, and then you come home for a 3-game stretch, Arkansas, ULM, Texas A&M. As who pointed this out in the chat, I want to give credit here. Somebody just pointed out that LSU, because of that bye week, does actually not have back-to-back road games. So just one of the many advantageous quirks of this 2021 schedule. In other LSU football news, Austin Thomas has been named LSU football general manager. It's a bit of a getting the band back together, as he was first made general manager when O got the job back in 2016. Remember, he was the first football general manager in the history of the SEC, viewed as a key in terms of fixing like roster management, which has been a cropping up issue again for LSU since his departure. He's been huge in recruiting through the years, and he's tight with Scott Woodward. I spent the last couple of years at A&M with Woodward. Now he's back to LSU. I don't know that this is a hiring where, it's not going to be like the most surface level thing. The average person is not going to really appreciate the Austin Thomas hire. But if you're listening to this, chances are you're a bit of an LSU football nerd, and you will see the ripple effects of this hire. And it makes sense, because when he left originally years ago, it was a job that they never replaced. And so what does that mean? That means that work gets spread out among other people who already have too much to do. So now he's back in place. I'm looking forward to seeing it pay dividends. In New Orleans Saints news, Mickey Loomis says the Saints' goal is to win now. They want to compete for championships. But first, they need to know what's going on with Drew Brees. Musso, this is Loomis 1 on what the Saints' plans are as far as Drew is concerned.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lot different than last year, and that we'll wait for him. But look, we've got a lot of other planning to do. Look, there's more unknowns right now than there are knowns, in the sense that we don't yet know what the cap's going to be next year. Even a narrow range we don't have yet. So we've got a lot of planning to do. We haven't completed our evaluations, our roster evaluations from last season. So at this point in time, there's more unknowns than there are knowns.
So a lot of unknowns up in the air, a lot of variables left to try and navigate. But here's the key question. Philosophically, what are the Saints looking to do? So this is Loomis 5. I want to know, are the Saints looking to rebuild, or are they looking to remain contenders?
Listen, we've got a great roster, and I can't foresee a circumstance where we're not going to say, man, we're going to do everything we can to win now, and compete for a championship. So, but again, it's difficult to really get into specifically what we need to do until we have more information.
So exactly, we don't know the exact specific moves that will take place, and a lot of the more information that he's referring to is needing to get more information on the salary cap and what it'll be this year officially, what it will be going forward, because that will be the base upon which everything is built. But between the Sean Payton comments of last week, where he's talking about, no, we always find a way, we'll find a way again, and now Mickey Loomis say, no, the goal is to contend now and to compete for championships. It looks like the Saints are going to be active this offseason. I know they're waiting on Breeze. We all got to imagine that Breeze probably retires sometime after the Super Bowl. But what does this tell me? This tells me they're going to be in that Matt Stafford sweepstakes. That's right. Looks like Matt's back on the menu, boys. And, I mean, if you're Matt Stafford, look, there's going to be a lot of comers. The price will get driven up, no doubt about that. But, I mean, do you want to go to Vic Fangio and the Broncos, the defensive coach, Bill Belichick and the Patriots, the defensive coach? I mean, to me, it's New Orleans or Indy. Frank Reich or Sean Payton. Can't go wrong either way, but I would go with a team that's gone 8-1 over the last 2 years with, average quarterback play. Like, if Matt Stafford wants to win, which is the main goal, the Saints can offer him that. So I'm excited to see how involved New Orleans ends up getting there. Speaking of New Orleans winning, the Pelicans finally get back to winning last night as they beat up on the absolutely decimated Washington Wizards. Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram go for 32 apiece. It's the first time they've both broken 30 in the same game against a very shorthanded Washington Wizard team. Steven Adams grabbed 18 boards, but really the story isn't about a Pelican. Well, it's about a guy that many Pelicans fans would dream would be a part of the New Orleans Pelicans, but the story here is about Bradley Beal. Why? Because he scored 47 points. Incredible, right? But he lost. Oh, no. Well, guess what? That is the 10th time in a row when scoring 40 plus that Bradley Beal has lost. That's right. It's quite literally very hard to wrap your head around. He has scored 40 plus points 25 times in his NBA career. Only 95 players in NBA history have at least 10 40-point games. He's done it 25 times. He has a 6-19 record in those games. I mean, come on, dude. Somebody give Bradley Beal some help. If nothing else, we can vote him in to the All-Star game. And then finally, to wrap up with some LSU sports news, LSU beach volleyball, to go along with that excellent new stadium that we talked about so much last year, opens at number 1 in the country. Eat our sand, UCLA. That's right. Tigers over Bruins all day, every day. Shout out to the LSU beach volleyball team. LSU's women's basketball will have another tough test tonight as they will face tonight they'll face number 22 UGA at 6 p.m. Kids out on SEC Network Plus, watch ESPN, or listen on Talk 107.3 FM. But they will face 6 ranked teams over the next 8 games. Let's see what they can do. And then finally, shout out to LSU softball senior outfielder Aaliyah Andrews as the 2021. She has been named to the 2021 USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year Top 50 watch list. Aaliyah is a 2-time All-SEC and SEC Defensive Team select. She hit .408 last year. Remember, LSU softball ranked 5th in the country going into the season, highest-ranked SEC team. Shout out Coach Beth Tarina. Please do not get mad at me anymore. And shout out to Aaliyah Andrews. All right, when we get back, Ivy Aver says, get Loomis on. You can talk for 10 minutes and not actually say anything. I get what you're saying. And I get where he's coming from. He doesn't want to commit to anything, but it's not that he didn't say anything, right? He did say some things. Like I said, he gave us an idea of where the Saints' head is philosophically, right? We don't know the details. You don't know how you get there, but he did not say that, we're going to look to rebuild or we might take a step back. No, he said the goal is to compete now and win championships. That tells me they're going to keep fighting. They're going to be competitive for guys like Stafford and other people this offseason. We'll have to wait and see. And you should wait a couple of minutes and then come back. Or look, if you want to go watch online, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Because I'm at home, we're hanging out during the commercial breaks. You want to come hang out? I mean, you missed my magnetic chess set yesterday, so it's kind of like missing the GameStop boat. It hurts, but that's okay. But yeah, so you can go online, check it out, and then we will be back next with that LSU schedule talk. And I cannot wait because I love schedule talk. Back with more Off the Bench after this.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills, premium gas grills that combine expert engineering and dependable performance, all backed by a best-in-class lifetime warranty. Visit barbecueguys.com or our local showroom to learn more about Blaze Grills. Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. That's All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. The family's so nice. I joined it twice, starting with that Toyota Sienna. That's right, the minivan, baby. But you know what I needed? I didn't want to get that like champagne color. I didn't want to get like gray or silver or whatever. I need a little flair to it, right? I wanted the murdered out mini, black on black on black on black. And how was I able to do that? Because All-Star Toyota. They do whatever you want them to, whatever you need them to, and their selection is second to none. So it doesn't matter what you're looking for, what you're in the market for. Minivan. I also lease a Camry, which I really love. It's a great vehicle. I'm a big guy, fitting in wonderfully, very comfortable ride. Looks slick as well. They got Toyota certified pre-owned vehicles. You can rent, you can buy. It's a one-stop car shop. Let them be your guide in the car buying wilderness. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Hey, T.
Yeah.
Can you turn your mic up just a little bit?
Yeah. Are we still in the commercial? Musa. Yeah, Jacques, they just started today, a smoke alarm chirp. That's not good for the radio. I don't know if I have time to figure it out during the commercial breaks, though. Damn, boys. Group text popping off. It looked like the big guys shut people from buying stocks down on Robinhood and stuff. Wow, that's crazy. Just stopping people from making money for no reason. That sucks. Okay, let's get to some of these comments. I need to copy these over. Best money for a workout. Copy. Let's see. Paste. Yo, T-Bow, what's up? What's up, B? What's up, Brandon? Chilling, man. Quarantine life ain't bad. Ain't no different than normal life, really. Doing the show from home has its advantages, but it's definitely not as nice as the studio, that's for sure. It does make me, though, want to do, definitely makes me want to get to some streaming for fun, because it is kind of fun just sitting here, hanging out on the computer, talking to people. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch me lose a chess? If dinosaurs evolved into birds, does that mean dino-shaped nuggets are made from dinosaurs? Oh, shit. I mean, technically, I feel like chickens are pretty damn dinosaur-y. Rumor running around, they'll move the UCLA game to Vegas. That would be an awesome idea, Brian. I mean, that would be a fantastic idea. I think that LSU fans would like that even better than going to the Rose Bowl, even though Alana always talk about how they want to go to the Rose Bowl. So it looks like you can no longer buy Nokia, GameStop, or any of these stocks, huh? The big boys win in the end. I mean, yeah, no, they weren't just going to take it sitting down. This is what I like to call the generic Avengers music.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? T-Bob and Musso hanging out with you here on Off the Bench. 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. We got Chef Michael Johnson coming up next. I got a bunch of great Munchies questions coming in. If you want to continue to get them in, I'll continue to put them in the docket. But right now, it is time to talk about one of my favorite subjects in football. And although some may not find this very exciting, I do. And that is the LSU schedule. As the schedule was released yesterday, we ran through it in headlines very quickly. But here's how I want to break it down, because it's how I like to break it down. I want to break this schedule down into 4 quarters, okay? So because there's 12 games, 4 quarters of 3 games, it gives you ideas of what you want to accomplish in each quarter of the season. The first quarter is attractive. You start at UCLA. That's a great first game, in my opinion. Kind of kicks off with a bang. Here's to hoping that game can take place at the Rose Bowl. If it is not, Brian Burgess in the chat is saying that the rumor is that it would be going to Las Vegas. I have not heard that. I have not asked around about that. I think either one's a win, Rose Bowl or Vegas. I mean, if you go to Vegas, you're giving LSU fans an opportunity to watch their favorite team in what may be like the coolest stadium in the world right now. I'm not sure how it compares to SoFi, but I would love to go see that giant black monolith that they have built out there in the desert, and who wouldn't love to go to Vegas and gamble and watch college football. So so great for the fans in terms of UCLA game, whether it's the Rose Bowl or Las Vegas, but great for the team as well, right? Because this is a game that is going to demand focus. You're going to have to be locked in. It's enough of a name and enough of a team to do just that with Chip Kelly. But at the end of the day, you should still win the game, right? Like, and it is very important, exceedingly important to start this season off on the right foot, especially when you look, there's going to be so much riding on this game, especially how last season that kind of tasted that put in your mouth. Like, do you remember what it felt like watching LSU and Mississippi State and slowly coming to the realization that no, the defense wasn't going to come up with any stops, and you were just going to watch that game slip further and further away? It was a horrible feeling, and a lot of that traced back to Bo Pelini, right? And it's something that we talked about a lot because it was his first game. So Durante Jones, Jake Peets, DJ Mangus, they are going to have a ton riding on this UCLA games, because first impressions go a long way. Another Gladwell thing, right? His first book, or his first big book, Blink, all about that, first impressions. Whatever happens in this UCLA game, you're not, because you follow up with McNeese in Central Michigan, you're not going to have another chance to make people happy if you lose for a long time. People will make sweeping grand conclusions after this UCLA game. Let's see if they can pass the UCLA tests. If you do beat UCLA, then it's nice because you got a couple of chill weeks to kind of get your SEC legs under you. McNeese State, Central Michigan, these are tune-up games. These are get-right games. If anybody gets hurt UCLA, they're get-healthy games. They're to get you ready for the grind that is coming in the second and third quarters. So a nice, easy start for the first quarter, kind of dipping your toe in, right? Second quarter, SEC play kicks off with a bang. Let's go, because this is the period in which we are going to learn how excited you should or should not be about this LSU football team. It was, in fact, in this second quarter last year when you had to, well, really through the first quarter, even when you had to learn that you really had to readjust your expectations, just accept that LSU was a bad team. So for the second year in a row, you're going to open up conference play with Mississippi State once again. Revenge game for LSU. If fans are allowed, you know that Starkville's going to be rocking. But here's the deal. When it comes to Mississippi State this year, there are no BS excuses allowed. Everyone else not named LSU shut down the air raid last year. LSU needs to join that company. And I think they will. So I think you handle Mississippi State. After that, second quarter, you got Auburn. Who knows what to make of Auburn, right? Brad Harrison from Boise State, new coaches, new faces. I wonder if they'll be any good. This could go either way. Trying to predict Auburn, even in an era as relatively stable as the Gus Malzahn era, has proven to be a practice in madness. Like, you never know what Auburn's going to be. You know even less with all the variables this season. And then finally, the second quarter closes up with a matchup at Kentucky. And look, Kentucky has been a respectable program, but LSU is a cut above them, and you should win that game. And so the bottom line is that if we look at the first and second quarter, if LSU is going to be as good as I think they will be, with everybody returning, you should 3-0 this second quarter after 3-0ing the first quarter. Maybe you get one. Maybe you're allowed one loss, be it Auburn, if they end up being way better than you think. I don't really know if I see another acceptable loss in those first two quarters outside of that. But if you do lose to Auburn, you're likely looking at being a 5-3, maybe 4-4 SEC teams, which would ratchet up the heat significantly. So now we arrive at what is by far the toughest part of the LSU schedule, and that's the third quarter. This is going to be the make or break portion. This will decide where your eventual ceiling lies. As we just said, you should be 5-1 or 6-0 heading into this portion of the schedule. Maybe like 6-0, 3-0 in the SEC, 5-1, 2-1 in the SEC. And if you want to talk about welcome to the SEC for Pete's, for Mangus, but then how about Durante Jones? I mean, we've talked a lot about Jones, and how about this? Imagine being a first-year defensive coordinator, and you look at that schedule, and you realize you have Dan Mullen. Oh, by the way, the games are Florida at Ole Miss, bye week at Alabama. So as a first-year defensive coordinator, you know in 1 month you're going to have Dan Mullen. You're going to go to Oxford to take on Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, and then you got Nick Saban in Alabama, right? I mean, it's going to be Bill O'Brien in Alabama, whoever it is now. Doug Marone's the O-line coach now. It's crazy. Let's start with the Florida game because it's going to be in Death Valley. Again, hopefully it can be full because Florida's going to be out for revenge. I wonder who Dan Mullen replaced Kyle Trask with. Do you finally go Emory Jones full-time? Seems like he's been trying to make that happen for a while. Again, I used to love watching Aranda and Mullen battle. Excited to see Mullen and Durante Jones square up. And I have to imagine that the signs in this LSU-Florida game are going to be pure gold when you're talking about all the shoe puns that will be that will be in the stadium. Now, how about this Ole Miss game at Oxford? This is going to be pretty wild here because I'm going to be fascinated to see what we're thinking about the Lane Kiffin era at this time, right? Like what the more long-term trajectory is out of Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. I look, going into last year, I did not buy that they would have an immediate bump, and I was dead wrong. They got that immediate bump. I think they finished 5-5, but in an all SEC schedule, given their expectations, that's actually pretty solid for Ole Miss. So, like, I wonder by this game, will we think that they're legitimately good, or will they be kind of the same team they were last year, right? The nice part about how this schedule plays out is you'll know by this point, right? We're talking about what would this be, game number 8? So you'll have a clear idea of who Ole Miss is, and you could be facing, if Lane overachieves, you could be facing a completely rejuvenated Ole Miss team. And then, look, you got Alabama, right? I mean, you know how this goes. Not much interesting to say. Alabama will have a fresh crop of 5-star starters, likely be ranked number 1 in the country when you go to T-Town. Bill O'Brien will likely be getting mad love at this point. Like, he's not a good GM, but what an incredible offensive coordinator. Like, it's not infinitely easier to succeed when you just have better talent than the other team does. I mean, as I said, Doug Marone is the O-line coach. It's just stupid what's going on over there. So you probably lose that game. And so as we enter the fourth quarter, right, ultimately the fourth quarter of the season, those final 3 games are going to decide, do you make the New Year's 6? Are you in the hunt for an SEC West championship? I think more realistically, that fourth quarter will decide if you make the New Year's 6 or not. I think the best record, or maybe not the best, but I think the best realistic record, right? When you're not trying to vastly exceed expectations, there's a very good chance that you should be 7-2 and 4-2 in the SEC entering this final portion of the season, right? So that would be a 7-2 record, would include maybe like the Bama loss, and then you drop one to either Auburn or Florida, and you beat everybody else. Now, unfortunately, the flip side of that is 6-3, 3-3 in the SEC is also completely doable, and that's Florida, Bama, and Auburn. And what's kind of fascinating about that is also that is the difference in the New Year Six right there, right? Like that like I know that's just one game going from 7-2, 4-2 to 6-3, 3-3, but that one game means everything. Because if you enter this stretch 7-2, you should beat Arkansas and ULM. It's going to push you to 8-2, 5-2 in the SEC. Then you're going to have a big time matchup against Texas A&M to end the season. If you win, you're looking at a 9-2 year, 6-2 in the SEC, probably puts you second place in the SEC West. For all intents and purposes, that would be a very successful season coming off of 2020. However, if you enter at 6-3, well, then let's say you lose to A&M, you could be looking at 9. You could be looking at 8-4 by the time it's all said and done, and you will get held out of the SEC championship. So that third quarter, how you exit is going to be key. Do you exit at 7-2 or 6-3? And then can you finish 10-2 or 9-3 in the final piece with a winning record in the SEC? If you can, I think LSU will make a New Year's Six bowl. And if we're talking about goals for this year, I think the goals go back to what they were 2 years ago, which is simply to win 10 games when it's all said and done and win a New Year's Six bowl. So the schedule lines up actually pretty nicely for LSU here, where the first quarter is a nice ramp-up period. Good little test with UCLA to start. Then you get your SEC legs under you before you open SEC play. The second quarter, which is the beginning of SEC play, is a great kind of rising challenge as you prepare for the climax of the third quarter with that crazy Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama trio. And then, depending on how high you're flying there, you have a chance to finish really strong with Arkansas, ULM, and Texas A&M to close out the season. So from a pure scheduling standpoint, I really like how this played out for LSU. Don't even have back-to-back road games. A bye week stops that from being the case. So I think LSU fans have a lot to be excited about with the release of this 2021 schedule. What do you think? Give me your record predictions, all that in the YouTube chat, youtube.com/1045ESPN. All right. We got Chef Michael Johnson answering all your Munchies questions next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to DonaldsonGlassandBody.com. That's DonaldsonGlassandBody.com for all of your vehicle needs. And I don't say that lightly. I literally mean everything. Tires, wheels, brakes. It doesn't matter. If you get in an accident, remember, the insurance company cannot tell you where to go. The police cannot tell you who gets to tow. So you tell them, I want DG and B for both, because the towing is completely free. Never forget that. Okay. When you get in an accident, you call Donaldson Glass and Body. They pick you up at the accident site, fix your vehicle, and then drop it back off to your home. The towing portion of all that completely free. And look, the quality of the work is better than anything in the state. I'll put that on everything. Wait till you see the facilities. That body shop is the best in Louisiana. So go to DonaldsonGlassandBody.com today. That's DGB, DonaldsonGlassandBody.com. I mean, I really think that LSU should be 7-2 entering that. Take your dog out, bro. If I do that, he's just gonna be banging at the door, but I guess he should. I think 10-2 Nyquillos would be the most successful record that I can see. I think 9-3 is probably the most realistic, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, because 9-3 puts you in the New Year's Six most likely, and then you have a chance to finish 10-3. It could be very similar to the UCF Fiesta Bowl year. Sure. Emil, with all the turmoil in UF, do you really have LSU taking an L to them? No, the only L that I have guaranteed is Alabama. And then I'm just allowing for a misstep somewhere, right? Like we've watched enough LSU football to know they're going to misstep somewhere else. So is that a surprising loss against Auburn? Is that a surprising loss against Florida? I mean, I think Florida's still going to be good. Dilly, okay, I'll always err on the side of being conservative. So I would say 9-3 with a 5-3 record in the SEC if you really wanted me to lock it in today. But like a really good chance, depending on how these new hires work out, to end up going, to go 10-2. I mean, the schedule lines up. Chill out, animals. It's not food time yet. Mark Cummings says A&M new QB LSU wins the game. I mean, I hope so.
Chef on hold.
Maybe not, though. Night Quills, I'm good with that. I'm locking in 11-1. Let's go. I hope so. Sure, whatever. Give a turnover shoe for the Florida game. Yeah, yeah, Brant, of course they even got home run hires. Why would you not want to go coach at Alabama? You're going to coach. I mean, for every football coach, they're trying to control players, right? They're trying to like control things that are outside of their control. You know what makes it a lot better if you're a control-free coach is being on a team where you know you're just going to be markedly better than everybody else. No, Brian, I will not be wearing Mississippi State gear ever again. That was a mistake. Kevin Mawai really put into perspective for me. Yeah, that's so crazy that Robinhood's not allowing that trade anymore. I mean, the name of the thing is literally Robinhood. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. It's ridiculous.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Chef Michael Johnson is back on OTB, brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Barbecue Guys is your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Send your questions into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat using the hashtag Munchies.
All right, welcome back. Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. Let's go to the phone lines. We got our man on, the guy that we love, LSU executive chef, Michael Johnson. Michael, what's up, man? What's going on, chef?
Morning, brother. How are you this morning?
Doing well, man. Hanging out, lamenting the big guy shutting down the little people on the stock market. Sad day. We'll see where it goes, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about food. We do this every week. Let's dive in to some Munchies questions. Musso, give me some music. All right, Jeff, here we go. Hashtag Munchies, best meal to eat before a workout.
Like fresh fruits and vegetables are always really good. What you're looking for, and this is kind of the philosophy behind it, is something that's easily digestible and something that's not going to upset your stomach. So you want to avoid things like too starchy vegetables or something that's going to sit in your stomach heavy, or like beans or anything that's going to make you flatulent. And a lot of people like to stay away from spicy foods. Your stomach, your body gets active and it produces, it's producing, it's getting active, and your stomach juices get flowing. If you've eaten ahead of time and you get stomach acid in your stomach, sometimes that doesn't settle too well. So, lean proteins are good. Lighter starches, rice and stuff like that settle and absorb easily into your stomach. And I think that's the general philosophy there. And then, like lighter fruits and vegetables, things that are not too acidic.
Hashtag munchies. Do you prefer a sauce or a gravy? Why?
Well, I was trained in a French kitchen, so every time I hear the word gravy, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit. But the Italians call marinara gravy, so you can't hate on that either. My training says sauce though.
So you don't like a traditional gravy, like a mashed potatoes and gravy?
Oh, I do, absolutely. Yeah, I guess if we're referring to it, I came up, in the philosophy that that has a name, and there's traditional sauce behind it.
Yeah, I see. Okay, hashtag munchies. What's the best tweak to make in a Ninja Foodie? I don't know. It's like a Ninja food processor. I don't know.
I don't own the Ninja. I've got other types of food processors, but I don't have a Ninja.
Hashtag munchies. Do chefs use a different spoon each time they taste test a dish, or is it okay to use the same one while cooking?
No, absolutely. We use different spoons. We actually buy compostable spoons that sit around in cups that are ready to go, and different locations of the kitchen. That hasn't been the case all the time. I used to know a chef that kept a tasting spoon in his front pocket and would walk around and dip it.
Hey, hell yeah, dude. He's just trying to save the environment, chef. Hashtag munchies. What is the digestive explanation of whole kernel corn?
I'm not terribly sure it's there, but it has to do with fiber and structure in it, and why it does or does not digest. I'm not entirely sure, but it has to do with the fiber that's in it. Things that have fiber don't normally digest entirely, and you'll see remnants of it.
You absolutely will. My daughter's been eating corn lately. She loves it, and it's all too apparent. Hashtag munchies. If dinosaurs evolved into birds, does that mean that dino-shaped nuggets are made from dinosaurs?
Oh gosh, yeah. The philosophy's there. I'm not sure the actuality's there. I've seen the dino-shaped deals, but they didn't taste like birds to me, so I don't know.
Hey, I don't know, dude. They're chicken. Chicken looks pretty dinosaur-y to me. If we're gonna choose a bird, that's a dinosaur. Hashtag munchies. Besides the football team, what team eats the most on any given day?
There's a few of them. The track and field team, they consume a lot of calories. The baseball team consumes quite a few calories. Depending on the time of the season, the gymnasts might eat quite a few calories. All of those teams, they exert a lot of energy. Anybody that's running and jumping and doing, just burning calories out, they have to replace those calories. And I think that, the basketball teams do too. But in a general philosophy, that's where they are.
Hashtag munchies. What is something fun you ate in Seattle, or it doesn't say fun. What is something you ate in Seattle, but you can't find here?
Good banh mi, good Asian, Vietnamese dishes. And there are some around, but Seattle was just saturated with it. Street tacos. I have a really good friend. His name is Manu, that had a street taco place down the street from me that I could walk within a block and a half of where I worked, and have some of the best street tacos in Seattle. And I think it's some of those ethnic foods that it's not that they're not available, they're just not as easily available, and the saturation. Yeah.
My son wants to impress his date, but is a college student. How can he spice up Chef Boyardee ravioli and tell her it's Italian night?
Get something like a fresh cheese or something and shredded in there, and like chopped fresh parsley, and there's little things that you can do. I think you kind of do that with ramen every once in a while. It's just, that's a stretch, but geez, you get some Parmesan or some Pecorino or something like that brightens it up a little bit. Maybe some, I don't know. I'm stretching here, but
hey, it's all about the garnish. I agree, dude. Just make it look a little fancy, dude. Some fresh melted cheese will be good to go. Hashtag munchies. You mentioned banh mi. What's your favorite Asian dish?
I always go back to pork belly at some point, but I do love like an Asian Asian pork belly, or like a Korean barbecue or something like that. But pork belly is far and away my favorite Asian dish. Yeah.
Yeah, hard to beat that Korean barbecue. Hashtag Munchies. Do you believe in juicing for cleansing the body?
I believe in juicing, but if you're trying to cleanse the body, you need the pulp in there for the fiber, right? So if you're just drinking clean juice without any of the pulp in it, it's not doing everything that you're looking for it to do. And there are also people who will argue that the maceration, and I want to enunciate that clearly, maceration is like the chewing process. It develops enzymes in your mouth, and so if you're chewing on something versus just drinking it through a straw, it helps your stomach digest it easier, and so therefore it goes into your body smoother. So there are people that argue that entirely juicing is not, the full remedy for you. There's two sides to the story.
I am an expert masticator. I can eat with anybody. I can chew with anybody up there, Chef. Daniel Basham said I would eat ravioli straight out of the can when I would get done studying at 2 or 3 in the morning. What is the best food straight out of the can?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. And I don't know. I grew up on canned asparagus, and I will say that's not it. I guess spinach, maybe. I don't know, man. That's a tough question. I'm not a fan of, or you know what?
Beans?
Tomatoes. No. I like to cook beans for fresh, but I will use canned tomatoes. Specifically like Italian brands that come over and import it, and they're sweeter off the vine, and I do use some San Marzano tomatoes out of the can. They're pretty wonderful.
Hashtag Munchies. Scott Dice says, I want to make homemade sushi this evening. Was wondering what chef's favorite sushi roll is.
I like a blend of different types of fish, and I stay away from the cream cheese. I know there's going to be some people that boo over that, but I like avocado in it, and but I like to put a little rice wine vinegar in the rice for sure to help the sticky and brighten the smell and olfactory up. But tuna, salmon. I'm not too keen on escalar. I've had a bad experience with escalar before, but other things like uni or like shellfish sometimes too. One of my favorite things I've ever eaten that was raw sushi grade was called a spot prawn, and they have a really short season. It comes out of the Pacific Northwest on up to Canada. And if you can get fresh spot prawns, the meat, it's kind of sweet, and it's fatty. And it's kind of equatable to like a cold water lobster versus a hot water or a warm water lobster, right? Warm water lobster's leaner and firmer, and cold water, like Maine lobster, is kind of fatty and loose. And you could equate that difference from, like a Gulf shrimp to a spot prawn. The spot prawn is a little bit fattier and it has a sweetness to it. They're delicious raw.
All right, there you go. Look for some spot prawns. Hashtag Munchies, best fast food breakfast.
Fast food breakfast. Goodness, I don't eat too much fast food, but gosh, I don't know, man. I go to the quick store every once in a while and get like some boudin, to be honest with you.
And you slam some boudin from the quick store.
Absolutely, yeah. Boudin balls in the morning. I don't know if that's fast food or not, but it doesn't take too long to grab it and go. And you don't see me go through the fast food stores very often.
Boudin's surprisingly good for breakfast, though. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The amount of people that have dropped boudin off at the studio has been great. Okay, last one here, Chef. My grandpa used to make a delicious Spam spaghetti. Give me your best Spam recipe.
We used to do a Spam musubi like on sushi style, and that was pretty fantastic. You sear it off and then chill it, and then serve it kind of sushi style, and that's huge in the Northwest and like Hawaii. And if you're having a Spam recipe, I guess it's okay. My old man used to just fry Spam and put some mustard on it and put it in between 2 slices of white bread, and that's the extent of my palate right there.
That sounds good to me. All right, Chef. You have a great day. Another excellent Munchies in the books. What do y'all got in the docket today? How are all the new guys looking that just reported?
Really good. I've met quite a few of them, and they're all good, friendly guys. And that's an indicator. Like I think that coach and the team look for character in the boys. not just talent. And these guys, they all seem to have some good character behind them. So, I like that a lot.
Hell yeah. Chef Michael Johnson, each and every Thursday, answering all of your most pressing culinary questions. Take it easy, Chef.
Take care, guys.
All right, more Off the Bench as we close out hour number 1 when we get back.
Off the Bench.
Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. That's 925-8552 for all of your plumbing needs. Doesn't matter what it may be. Look, they've been at it for over 40 years, y'all. And if you ever see where this company started to where they are now, right? Very humble roots, working out a small little building, and now they got a massive fleet, and they can handle not just residential work, but commercial work as well. So how do you grow over those 4 decades? The answer is simple. It's because your customers are consistently satisfied with the quality of your work and with the experience of working with you. I am someone who's used Central Plumbing probably like 6 to 7 times, and it's been just that. It's been a great experience, right? I don't lift a finger. I just call 925-8552. I go to centralplumbing.org, and it doesn't matter what the problem is. My problems are solved immediately. So what are you waiting for? Centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org. Oh, Charles Woodworth. You've been telling me on this who. You had Mongolian throat singing in my mind yesterday, so I did a little Mongolian throat singing to the Misty Mountain song from the Hobbit movies. Hold on, I'm back a second. Oh, I mean, he doesn't get any better, dude. Look at that. Chewy, come here. Come here. Say hello to everyone. Say hello to everyone. Look at this puppy. Look at this puppy. Oh, you're a good puppy. You're a good puppy. Sometimes I just want to ride him like a horse. Just hop on and ride like never ending story. Oh. Whoa. Whoa.
All-Star Toyota presents
I wonder
Off the
if Kelvin
Bench,
Shepherd would be able to
ESPN
do
Baton
that.
Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Sorry, nothing's wrong. Todd Jones, just looking at all this craziness. Chris Hugard, thoughts on linebacker hire, Kelvin Shepherd, a legitimate candidate? So Kelvin Shepherd, somebody that I played with back in the day, played the NFL for a long time. Great teammate, great guy. He was the player personnel director, player development director, something, a title like that, basically kind of a player support role. I know that he interviewed for a linebacker job, I think, in the NFL. I'm not sure. I haven't seen Shepard's link to the linebacker job. The names that I heard is who we talked about yesterday. Baker, the defensive coordinator from Miami, who has had play calling duties taken away. I think that could be a big time hire in terms of a guy with experience. Yeah, I think he wants $700,000, which I don't know if that's going to be a sticking point or not. But yeah, sure. I mean, look, I would welcome giving Kelvin Shepherd the opportunity. I would wonder too, if you brought another DC, would he fall in line and listen to someone who's a first-time DC? It'd be interesting to see. Okay, coming up next hour on Off the Bench, we're going to open with Ben Mintz at 8 a.m., give you his read on this Super Bowl, as well as, what to expect. Maybe talk a bit about the Barstool Fund helping out there in Shreveport. We'll get to the Pelicans. If the Pelicans finally win a game, granted, it took playing the worst team in the NBA in the Washington Wizards, but they did win a game, right? And we'll feel bad for Bradley Beal. We'll get some Mickey Loomis sound as Mickey Loomis addressed the media, and he kind of crystallized the Saints' vision for what it's going to be in the immediate short term. And although the details of how are anything but clear, the bottom line is that it sounds like Loomis and the Saints are posturing to say that they are here to stay competitive, to continue to win. They're not trying to take a step back and restart. They're not there yet, and it makes sense. When you go 8-1 with Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill as your quarterbacks in the NFL, you go 8-1 with that level of quarterback play, you've got a lot of good on that roster. And as we've laid out with Nick Underhill and others, you can avoid losing most of that good. So I think that, I think that it is clear now that the Pelicans are saying that the Saints are saying that they're going to continue to win. So we'll give you that Mickey Loomis sound. You can come to your own conclusions. And then, of course, at 8:30, we got Brad Spielberger, PFF. Brad, he's a salary cap analyst for Pro Football Focus, and he writes for overthecap.com, Tulane alumni. I'm interested to see what the national perspective is on this New Orleans Saints salary cap situation, and if they are as bullish on Mickey Loomis and company being able to manage the cap as we are. I don't think that they will be. And that's why I think that perspective is going to be so important and so fascinating to hear. So stick around. We got a big hour 2 plan from you. And look, remember, youtube.com/1045ESPN, like it, share it, all those fine things. And we'll be back with more Off the Bench next here on 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench.
Go to Ochsner.org today. That's Ochsner.org. Whether you're on the North Shore, you're in Baton Rouge, you're in New Orleans, Ochsner has you covered. You want to get feeling right again. You got some orthopedic problems, maybe like a back, a shoulder. It doesn't matter what it is. And don't jump to the worst thing first, right? Don't think, oh, no, I need surgery. No, that's not the case. And at Ochsner, look, they have the latest, most cutting-edge non-surgical techniques that they can employ and try to see if they can get you right. They have the physical therapy facilities and personnel are second to none. They are quite literally, no exaggeration, exactly what the professionals use. If you want to get bigger, stronger, faster, you can always check out Ochsner Performance Training as well, whether you're in high school, junior high, ancient athletes, it doesn't matter. The bottom line, if you want to maximize your health, maximize your potential, you want to do that with Ochsner. So go to Ochsner.org today. That's Ochsner.org.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition. Ring in the new year at Bayou Ford and get in a brand new Ford Expedition XLT today with $14,000 off MSRP.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
Stuck in
with
quarantine.
Bayou to You, free
COVID.
delivery right to your door.
$14,000 off Expedition at Bayou Ford in LaPlace between New Orleans and Baton Rouge.
The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you. Self-to trim 5,000 dealer discount 9,000 Ford rebate expires 2/28/21.
Looking to play all your favorite casino games and sports bet from home? Free? BetRivers.net is the free-to-play site where you can sample online sportsbook, slots, table games, and even live casino games with live dealers. Whether you like casino slots,
I've not
video
seen the
poker,
Juan
blackjack,
LaFontaine
Keno,
commercial. Hey,
bingo, or
Musso, can you
virtual
take the
horse
commercials
racing,
out?
BetRivers.net has something for everyone. Plus, try out our free-to-play sportsbook. Go to the free-to-play site, BetRivers.net. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona with fantastic news. The Sazerac House is open and now offering fully guided
Juan
tours.
Hearn, 1100
On the
University,
corner of
12-0,
Canal and
SMH. You all sell our
Magazine,
program,
open
so sure why the
Tuesday to
expectation is so
Sunday
low.
from 11.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and saying that 10-2 is not having low expectations. I don't think that. Yeah, I mean, I think that 10-2 is great. I don't think that anybody. I mean, how with the information that we have right now, how could you sit here and say that you expect LSU to beat Alabama? It's just I'm just not there with you, unfortunately, right now. Boom, boom, bang, boom. Boom, boom, bang, boom. Damn.
Ben did not answer, T.
Yeah, that's okay. Just try him one more time. But yeah, I thought maybe he didn't respond to me this morning, so I don't know. Big guy, maybe he's asleep still.
All right. Fixing to come back. I'll try him once we get into
All right, cool. And get some of that Zion and Stan Van Gundy sound ready to roll.
Cool.
Actually, let's do Loomis first. We'll do Loomis to kick off the hour.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Thursday, January the 28th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see mostly sunny skies with a high of 58. If you missed hour one of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up in hour number 2 from Pro Football Focus, Brad Spielberger stops by at 8:30. Scott Kushner, the New Orleans Advocate, Times-Picayune, joins the show at 9:30 to talk Pels. Follow the show today on Twitter at OTB_ESPN or watch live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel and interact inside the Bayou Ford chat. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob Musso hanging out with you this morning. Trying to get in touch with Mintz. I think the big guy may still be asleep up there in New York City. But we still got a lot to get to this hour. We're going to talk a lot of Saints cap as we got our guy Bradley coming on. Brad Spielberger at 8:30 writes for PFF and overthecap.com. He's going to let you know exactly what is going on with said Saints cap as Mickey Loomis addressed the media yesterday, and we'll get into that. Juan Hearns in the YouTube chat. Still haven't heard why anyone say 12-0 SMH. Y'all sell your program show so short. Why? are the expectations so low? For those who don't know, the LSU schedule came out today. We did an in-depth breakdown at 7:15, and I think, look, I landed on 10-2 being the realistic ceiling, like the realistic really good result, and 9-3 probably being the realistic less good result. Either way, those are records that would put you in the New Year's Six conversation with a chance, if you're 9-3, to win 10 games, chance to win 11 if you're 10-2. So this is an LSU schedule that I really like. That said, no one is saying 12-0, because if you're saying 12-0, you maybe have lost objectivity, which doesn't matter. Like, none of this matters, right? We're trying to predict the future. Sure. In 2019, if you would have said 15-0, I would have said you're freaking crazy. You've got no objectivity whatsoever, and yet it's exactly what happened. So sure, you believe 12-0, believe whatever you want. I think the Bama game is a loss. I think that's just like kind of clear. And then outside of that, like we talked about, it just becomes interesting because, like, what's Florida going to be post Kyle Trask? What is Auburn going to be with all the turnover they've experienced in the coaching department? Harrison, I mean, they're already a really hard team to predict year in and year out.
Hold.
What's Ole Miss going to be? Wait, what's that, Musa?
Ben's on hold.
Oh, okay. Looks like we got the big guy, Mintz. So we'll push back the Saints conversation to next segment as we get to that Mickey Loomis sound. Mincy, Ben Mintz at Barstool. Mincy, what's up, dude? Welcome in.
Oh, man, always great to be on OTB with you, T-Bob. And I know we got a little off week here before the Super Bowl, but we got a great matchup. And I hear you discussing the LSU schedule next year. I've already got that October 23rd in Oxford scheduled, and I'm hoping a lot of Barstool Sports maybe coming to the Grove on that one.
Well, and Ben, it sets up to kind of be a fascinating time, right? I mean, what happens if, like by that time, we'll know the full extent of the Lane Kiffin effect. There was definitely an immediate bump, but by that time, you could be talking like, are we talking about Ole Miss maybe being the second or third best team in the West? Like, are they challenging to break into the kind of A&M, LSU, Auburn triumvirate? Like, what are you expecting out of the Rebels in year 2 under Lane Kiffin?
Well, I'll say that I like the fact that we got Vanderbilt, Tennessee as the team, which is a huge break. You know, we talk all the time about how LSU plays Florida every year, and I think Ole Miss has a chance to have a very successful schedule. They play Louisville on the Labor Day Monday night to open the year in Atlanta, which will be a lot of fun, which I think is winnable. And so, you know, I'm expecting a fun, successful season. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to the moon. I mean, we'll see about breaking through. A&M and LSU are both in Oxford, and so, you know, really would like to win one or two, win one of those. But I think a realistic expectation is like 7-5 or 8-4, maybe 8-4, and, you know, building on the program. I'm not ready to get the anointing oil out just yet. Like some people are saying, "Oh, this could win 10 games next year." I think that's a little bit. That's a little bit of a extreme when you look at the defense. You know, I know that the recruiting class looks good, but the defense is still, you know, a couple of years away, I think, from being pretty good. So I think the program's headed the right direction, but I'm not quite ready to say we're going to be competing for any championships just yet.
Okay, so speaking of going to the moon, it seems like up there at Barstool, that's all y'all do. This Barstool Fund, saving businesses throughout the U.S., man. But it hit home for you yesterday, right? As it was Portnoy and Barstool turned their gaze to Shreveport. What was this restaurant that Jimmy Buffett put on Dave's radar and that you were very happy to see saved up there in the 318?
Okay, so there's a place called Herbie K's, and they serve a po' boy. It's called a Shrimp Buster. It's a big thing in Shreveport, but it's been open since 1936, so 85 years, and it's kind of got a ton of history in the community. And I'll tell you who was really happy about it was Playboy Marty, because he ate his high school graduation dinner there, and his family's been eating there since like 1950. His mom's been going there since she was 4 years old in 1953. So there's just a ton of history with it. And they'd kind of fallen on some hard times with a bunch of stuff going on with COVID. And one of their partners died. A bunch of stuff had happened. And so it's awesome stuff. And I want to give credit to Ken Gaming, too, Margaritaville Bossier, who helped nominate them as well. But I saw I mean, I don't have like a lot to say on the Barstool Fund, obviously, but I did get to take a look at some of the Louisiana businesses that had applied, and I went to bat real hard for Herbie K's because I knew the history and how much it meant to the Shreveport community after being there for 85 years.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. I mean, 85 years, you got that much skin in the game. You want to keep that place around. Shout out Barstool. making it happen. Mintzy, we don't need any picks out of you this week, but let's just kind of discuss the weekend that was, the weekend that will be. What were your big takeaways from the NFC and AFC championships?
Man, well, first on the NFC side, the Tampa Bay front seven deserves a ton of credit. They caused a lot of problems in the New Orleans game too, and I know the story is obviously Tom Brady getting back to another Super Bowl, especially doing it on a team that was 7-9 last year and all that. But I do got to give a lot of credit to Devin White and Shaq Barrett, who had 3 sacks, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Levante David. I think those guys had a lot to do with it as well, and I think it's getting overlooked a little bit on the national narrative. I mean, despite the rumors, there are 22 people that start.
Well, I mean, and it's one of those things, Ben, where like I saw headlines this morning, and it was about like how Aaron Rodgers is right to be frustrated with his defense. I'm like, didn't Aaron Rodgers have like 4 possessions to take the lead in that second half? Like, yeah, the defense screwed up. Scotty Miller beat the right for the half, but that defense came up with the turnovers to set Aaron Rodgers up. And as you said, he just couldn't get through Devin White and company.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I mean, Brady threw 3 interceptions on 3 possessions in a row in the second half, and then Brady in the Saints game threw 499 yards.
Yeah,
but I think you got to give Tampa. Like I said, I'm a big Todd Bowles fan, and Arians and Bowles. I thought they were great together in Arizona. I remember they almost got Arizona to the Super Bowl with and the Badger tore his ACL that year in 2015 when they lost to Carolina in the NFC Championship. And I'm happy for them. And I think the other takeaway too on a bigger scale is, I'm sure y'all talking about it. I mean, how about the Louisiana presence?
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane everywhere. I mean, KC with the Badger, and Tampa Bay with Fournette, Devin White. I mean, even L'Jarius Sneed, who's from Louisiana Tech, a rookie from Mintz, starting and had a huge year for KC. It's just phenomenal to see, the presence of the boot. I mean, in these games. I mean, it was this last weekend for sports. Dustin Poirier beat McGregor, and then when you saw the conference championship games, I mean, I just couldn't get away from it. I was tweeting a lot about all the Louisiana guys. I mean, it's just so great seeing them shine on the big stage.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I know that Jeff Duncan has a really good tweet that has all the Louisiana players in the game that I'll try to find here. But yeah, man, I mean, we talk about a weekend winners on Monday between Poirier and then now. I mean, it's not just LSU. Now, LSU does have 6 players in this Super Bowl, but it's just Louisiana as a whole. Per capita, we've always been the athletic champs. But now, Ben, we are set up for, I mean, is it exaggeration? Like, this is the best Super Bowl matchup from just a superstar quarterback perspective that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Not that they're both playing at, like, this is not peak Tom Brady, but here it is, Tom Brady in his 10th Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes in his second, 43 years old versus 25 years old. I mean, it just, as far as like narratives and characters, I don't know if it gets better in this, the young cub challenging the old lion.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I think the matchup is phenomenal. I mean, I thought about that. I was only 2 years old when Joe Montana and Marino played against each other. The year Marino had a 5,000-yard season. That's the only one I think that's been even on this level. I mean, obviously Breeze and Manning was a huge deal, but I don't think it was quite this one. But I'll go ahead and say it. I mean, I think that everybody's pumped about Brady, and I get all that. I think this is the passing of the torch game, and that Mahomes Chiefs handle him here. And Mahomes starts his ascent, and hopefully heaven. And I mean, he's already one of the best I've ever seen. It's his 3rd year starting, and he's got an MVP playing in his 2nd Super Bowl. The question with him is just, can he get the longevity of Brady? Is just, I mean, you can't ever imagine somebody doing this well at 43. So I don't know if Mahomes can even sniff that, but I think that could be the story. On the KC side, T-Bob, you always talk a lot about the O-line, and rightfully so. The big concern is Eric Fisher going to be out with the Achilles injury, the left tackle. KC going to be without both their starting tackles against this Tampa front seven, which was really good, and that's Tampa's best chance. They got to rush the passer. I also think they need to be balanced on offense. I don't think Tampa can win a shootout against KC, so I think Tampa's got to be more balanced and play good on defense to have a chance here.
So to your point, we're actually going to talk about this later in the show, Minty, but check this out. For Mahomes to catch Brady's records in terms of career and playoff wins, these are the numbers that he would have to hit for 16 NFL seasons in a row in which he would be injury-free. He has to win 12.7 games per year. He has to throw for 4,700 yards per year, 38 touchdowns per year. He needs to win 2 playoff games a year, throwing for 6 touchdowns and almost 700 yards in each playoff. And he needs to obviously go to 8 more Super Bowls as well over those next 16 years. As crazy as Mahomes is, that does really drive home the longevity of Tom Brady. It is just completely mind-boggling. Mintzy, do you have any early plays that you're kind of looking at when it comes to the Super Bowl?
I'm looking at the Chiefs a good bit here. I really, I know everybody's making a big deal about Tampa being the first team to host the Super Bowl, but I don't think, you look at the Bucs really through the years, they play worse at home than they do on the road. They've been one of the teams that's been like that for years, and I don't think the home field thing means anything here. And I know it's interesting because it's like, how can a team be a wild card team and then their first home game in the playoffs in the Super Bowl? It's unbelievable. But I'm looking at KC a good bit here. Like I said, the only concern I've got is the Eric Fisher thing. I just don't think Tampa can keep up with them. I do think the Tampa front seven is their biggest chance. Like I said, I think Leonard Fournette. So I had a really good weekend over last weekend. Finally, was on the Bucs and was on the Chiefs and hit the props. But how about is playoff Leonard Fournette a thing now?
It's so crazy.
Playoff winning.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he turned into the new Rajon Rondo of the NFL?
I was talking to Booger McFarland about this on Wednesday, and I think he had said he had talked to Leonard maybe, but basically Fournette was just saying that he's fresh, right? Because of some of the usage near the end of the season, which wasn't what it normally was, just that he's fresh right now, and you're getting a look, I guess, at what a fresh and motivated Leonard Fournette can do, right? That's the other key part of this. When is Leonard Fournette? I guess that one AFC year where the Jaguars were threatening a bit and kind of pushed the Patriots in the playoffs, but rarely in his career, even at LSU, really, has Leonard Fournette ever had the motivation that he has right now also.
Yeah, well, he went off in that playoff run for the Jaguars, especially that Steelers road win. In the second round. I remember he had a huge game in that one.
Well, there you go.
But no, I like your point, though, about the usage. Jacksonville did run him into the ground a lot, and it seemed like he'd have decent starts of the year, and then he was wearing down in the middle of the season. And the fact that they've had Ronald Jones, they've just got so many other weapons, I think that's a big part of it. But, he just looks explosive out there again. But I know you always talk about the eye test. He's looked like he's slowed down a lot through the years. Maybe he gained a little weight and stuff, but man, he's out there looking like he's got that burst back right now.
That spin move.
I'm happy for him and glad to see him. Yeah, on that 20-yard touchdown.
That was fantastic. Todd Jones Ben wants to know: have you introduced Tony Satcheries to the Barstool crew?
I have not yet, but we've people are sending. I'll tell you, man, it's one of the funnest things. It's unbelievable how many people send stuff to me. I'm certainly not friends with the unboxing, but man, I feel like I get a new package every day, basically. And I've got a lot of them in South Louisiana, and it's been, man, it's kind of surreal. Both, I got to give shout out to both barbecue places in NOLA, Blue Oak and Central City, both this stuff up.
Yeah, dude, Blue Oak gave you a nice grab bag, bro. I was a little jealous. I saw that on Twitter, dude. That was real nice.
Man, those guys are great.
Wait, how about this, Ben? Are we going to win, or are we going to go in on Pat Mahomes scoring the first rushing touchdown again this Super Bowl?
Man, I'm a little. I guess he looked healthy in the game last week, so I might do it. He does tend to run a little more than people give credit for. I just was worried. I was a little worried with all the injuries that he was less likely to run last week. But then that was a thrill last year, though. That sequence last year too, where he got stopped on the one, and then it looked like the running back Williams got in, but got stopped on the half-yard line, and then Mahomes ran that option play where it looked like he was going to pitch it. He kept it and ran in at the last second. That was a great gambling thrill last year.
That was incredible, dude. That's how I got my double Bob stroller for my 2 kids. It's the best parenting purchase I ever made. Mintzy holding it down for my daughters, dude. All right, Ben. Well, look, man, thank you so much at Barstool Mintzy. You already know. Mintzy, anything you want to add on the way out here?
I just want to say that how funny it is to work at Barstool Sports. Listen to my schedule for today. I'll make this quick.
Yeah.
So I'm helping out. Barstool's doing a survivor thing that I'm not one of the contestants, but I'm helping out with today at 11 a.m. Then I'm hosting Pick Central, the Sirius show, from noon to 1. Right after that, I'm getting on Stoolstream Stadium playing ping pong, trying to break my winless streak there. I'm 0-3 so far, but I think I got a good matchup against the Vinny today. And then behind that, I'm part of Friday Night Pints with KFC today. And then we got a workout fitness competition I'm heading up. But, like, that's my work schedule. Like, it's just
That's
not
crazy.
even real. Like,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just like your life becomes your work schedule up here. It's just like it's nuts. And I'm really excited about the fitness competition. I think I know you saw that. You retweeted that after dinner the other night. But these boys up here, you know, I understand why, 'cause I'm still a little bigger, but I've gotten in a lot better shape, and I'm about to be the MVP of the fitness competition we're doing. I'm going to tear this thing up. These guys up here got no idea. So,
Destroyer 2021. They don't know what's coming at him. Get him, Mincy. Go get him, bro.
Yeah, well, thank you as always. I'd love to continue coming on here, and I appreciate you.
All right, Ben, you're the man, dude. Holla, Barstool Mincy, holding it down up there in the Big Apple at Barstool. What a day it sounds like he has planned. All right, coming up next, here and off the bench, if you're watching over my shoulder, you can see Luke making his legendary trench run. Let's go, and let's talk about the New Orleans Saints next, here and off the bench.
Off the bench.
Go to AccuTempBR.
New Orleans, Alexandria.
Go to AccuTempBR.com today. That's AccuTempBR.com for all of your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. And when you're talking about heating, cooling, you know, your HVAC systems, unfortunately, these things must be taken care of, right? You cannot ignore them. They're an expense that you have to deal with. That can be frustrating. AccuTemp understands that. So they want to turn that expense into an experience, a positive customer experience, one that you're in the future, once you work with that, can be like, oh, I absolutely want to go back there. And it's something that I've seen firsthand when they came out and serviced my system. It was, you know, a tight window when they're going to arrive. You get pictures ahead of time, who is showing up. It's the best customer service experience I've ever had for heating, cooling, electrical, whatever. If they come out here and you have to buy a new AC unit right now, you get a free furnace along with it, completely free. And 0% interest, 0 payments for 6 months on that AC unit as well. So what are you waiting for? There's a reason why they have a 4.9 Google review rating with over 1,200 reviews, because the customer is always satisfied with AccuTemp. Go to AccuTempBR.com today. That's AccuTempBR.com.
Hey, T.
Yo.
Make sure whenever you go to do your live for the end of this segment, you do All-Star.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna hit a promo read before I come back to you when we come back from rejoin.
Okay. I gotta do floating live land one. Wait, do you want to do all-star, not go roof?
Well, you just skipped an all-star at the top of that hour.
Oh shoot.
You skipped to
okay. I got confused, AccuTemp and all-star. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
You're good. We need floaters left or Lanois and Advanaclean.
All right, cool. Cool, man, cool. Hey, T-Bob's wife. That's what everybody's saying. Dude, I can't believe that the feds are shutting down the little man. If there's anything sadder, I've never seen it, dude. So, I mean, like Bilbo T. Baggins said, that the big guys can risk billions, and if they lose, they get bailed out. But like, what's up? The little guys can't win here? So sad. So sad. Webull has way better trading hours than Robinhood, FYI. I don't like the interface much, but a lot to like it. Yeah, that's what I heard. I saw that on Twitter. I don't know if I'm going to get into all of this stuff, but I did see that on Twitter yesterday about Webull, that you can get in like pre and post market, and that's where a lot of the money is to be made. Chewy wanting some scraps to fall. Yeah, that is. I mean, what's new, dude? Look at him. He's just staring at my wife, just begging to be fed. Feel with T Baggins, I'm on Fidelity. Is Fidelity still allowing you to trade? Yeah, I can only imagine what Dave and Elon and company are saying about Robinhood. Yeah, apparently Robinhood is owned by the same company that owns Melvin Capital or whatever, the place that's getting raided. So, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I found the perfect quote. The free market is only free until rich people lose money. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's going to be really tough to convince the little guy to, I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's just it's just something to make everybody more cynical in a world that's already filled with cynicism. So I guess there's nothing that should be too surprising there in any of this, to be honest. Where's that Jeff Duncan tweet with all the Louisiana people playing in the Oh, here it is.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Bayou Ford powers the all-new 104.5 ESPN mobile app. Download the app today to watch our shows daily. Listen to us live wherever you go. Find what you miss on demand and more. It's a free download and available for both the Apple and Android devices. Powered by Bayou Ford.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/1045 ESPN, go ahead and hit that like button. Right now, I want to talk about the New Orleans Saints as we got some Saints salary cap talk coming up. But first, I want to talk about the Saints because Mickey Loomis addressed the media yesterday, and I think we got an idea of where Loomis's head is at in terms of the vision for this New Orleans Saints team. It looks like Matt might be back on the menu, boys. We'll see. First, it has to start here, though, and that is, what will Drew Brees do? This is Loomis 1 on kind of the unknowns of some of this offseason.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lot different than last year, in that we'll wait for him. But look, we've got a lot of other planning to do. Look, there's more unknowns right now than there are knowns, in the sense that we don't yet know what the cap's going to be next year. Even a narrow range we don't have yet. So we've got a lot of planning to do. We haven't completed our evaluations, our roster evaluations from last season. So at this point in time, there's more unknowns than there are knowns.
Yeah, and really where the cap is going to be, that's going to be one of the most critical pieces in all of this. Is it 180? Is it 190? Every single million does make a difference for this New Orleans Saints team. And then we'll get to the next big question again, which we played during headlines. And that is this basic question that we've been kind of bouncing back and forth. Are the New Orleans Saints, are they looking to contend immediately, or are they looking to enter a rebuild phase?
Listen, we've got a great roster, and I can't foresee a circumstance where we're not going to say, man, we're going to do everything we can to win now and compete for a championship. So, but again, it's difficult to really get into specifically what we need to do until we have more information.
Okay, so I mean, look, he left himself a bit of an out there, but basically what he said is that, look, the expectation is going to be to win and win now. And it makes sense with Alvin Kamara, Mike Thomas, Ryan Ramczyk, Marshawn Lattimore. Like, you're a really good team. You're kind of like a better version of the Indianapolis Colts. You just don't have the quarterback, same way that the Colts don't have the quarterback. Let's see. This is going to be Loomis 2 here. Musso, what does Mickey think in terms of the Saints' needs coming into this next season?
No, we're not anywhere close to that. We're going to meet next week and begin that process of evaluating the roster. And again, until we get through that process and then understand exactly, what resources we're going to have available to us, we really haven't got an action plan in place yet.
And then look, when you're talking about needs, you're talking about guys that you want to bring back. While the names I just mentioned, you could all bring back, and you're tied to guys like Andrews Pete. There is one person who, well, there's one guy who had an incredible year last year, and of course, we're talking about Trey Hendrickson. And it's weird, right? Because he's been a productive pass rusher since you've had him, and you want to keep someone around that's getting 6-7 sacks per year. However, 6 or 7 sacks is much more affordable than what was it, the 14.5 that he busted out this year. Mickey Loomis is keeping Trey Hendrickson a priority for y'all.
Trey had a great season, a breakout season for him, and obviously he's going to be an attractive, free agent for anyone. But again, that's all part of the planning process. Part of that has to do with certainly we would want him back, but I can't really say how strong a play we can make for that until I understand where the cap's going to be this year, and as we go through the roster evaluations and start making our choices.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like a man there who has, unfortunately, he understands that, like, look, Trey Hendrickson may actually end up being one of the casualties in all this, right? Because you're committed to Marcus Davenport, you're committed to Cam Jordan. That's a huge bummer, but it may just be it is what it is type of situation. And then finally, here's what Mickey Loomis had to say about the quarterback market this offseason, as it's something that we've talked about a lot on this show.
Again, all that evaluation and what happens with that still remains to be seen. We'll talk about every position again, but look, we like Taysom, we like Jameis, we like what they did for us. Generally speaking, we target our own guys first. But again, just like every other position, we're gonna have a lot of discussions over the next week or two, and move on from there.
So look, Loomis, as somebody said earlier, can say a lot without saying anything, and that's a lot of what that just was. But there is also honesty there, right? It's hard to know with all the variables right now, and with how kind of tight. Because look, the Saints being $100 million over the cap is not unmanageable, but it does make your margin of error very small, right? It makes it much more narrow, the kind of path you're going to have to weave. And so it's really hard to know what to expect until you have that set cap number. I think the big takeaway is that he said they're trying to win championships, okay? You can go 10-6 with Tamus. You can do that. But if you're going to try to be better than that, I do think that you need a better quarterback. And then look, ideally in the future, not next year, but really the year after, you need that cap to start to rise again. If the cap was to stagnate for 2 years, then the Saints kind of strategy of continuing to push down the road, that would potentially that could potentially become a really big problem. And we'll talk about it more coming up next. Look, if you want to avoid any really big problems, you want to go to LanoisAgency.com. That's LanoisAgency.com, LANOIX. I use them for all of my insurance needs: home, auto, flood insurance, everything. A one-stop shop. They customize policies for your needs. They actively try to save you money wherever they can. And so you want to go to Lanois. So again, you can make it through 1 year of a down cap. You have to hope it doesn't go 2. And he does say, look, it's a daunting problem, but it's not unique to the Saints, right? It's daunting for everyone. So I'm going to choose to believe in the positive. I'm going to choose to believe that Pat Stafford is going to be the Saints quarterback come next year. Coming up next, we'll get some national perspective on the cap as well. We have Bradley Spielberger at PFF_Brad, salary cap analyst for Pro Football Focus, also contributes to Over the Cap, and a Tulane Law alumni. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyota of batonrouge.com for all your vehicular needs. Join the All-Star family. Let them be your shaman in the car buying wilderness. That's right. You don't even have to take any ayahuasca. You just have to take some great deals. Like I did when I got in the new Toyota Sienna. It's awesome, man. I've never been happier with a vehicle. This minivan has changed me and my family's life. All the room for all the activities. But it's not just the Sienna, right? I also ended up needing a second new car, which is a huge bummer, but I needed something affordable. That's where All-Star Toyota came in. The 2020 Camry, I'm leasing it. It is absolutely wonderful. If you're looking for a new vehicle, I cannot recommend it enough. Look, I'm like 6'3", like 285. I'm fitting in it very comfortably. Anybody will. They also got used vehicles. You can rent vehicles, your Tundras. All those new 2021s are in. So what are you waiting for? Go check them out off of Airline or go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyota of batonrouge.com. Oh, wow. I ain't know that. Ryan Alt is in. T, circling back to Composer Talk from a month or so ago. I just watched Tenet finally. I did too. I enjoyed it, even if I don't fully understand it. But Ludwig Göransson composed Tenet. That's crazy. I had no idea. If you're 285, I'm 190. Son, I'm definitely 285 right now. Try again, bro. GME won't let me buy Robin Hood. Wilson to get it backed up. Smiley, just got home from work offshore. Please catch me up in the LSU DC. Okay, so LSU missed on Marcus Freeman, Smiley. Then they tried to get Ryan Nielsen, the Saints D-line coach, and that was shut down by that was shut down. I don't need a run, dude. I'm into the spin now, Bilbo. That was shut down by Sean Payton and the Saints. They end up matching whatever LSU was going to offer Nielsen in terms of money. They give him assistant head coach title, and they block him from going. So Nielsen has now remained with the New Orleans Saints. And what that led to, LSU goes out, they're looking, and they landed on the name Durante Jones. Longtime secondary coach. Bye, Alice. I love you. Have fun at school. I love you. What? We're in commercial. Stafford quote as being very interested in the Colts. Yeah, look, it's for Stafford. I do think it's going to come down to the Colts and the Saints. I could be wrong here, but like, why would you want to go pay for Vic Fangio, or why would you want to play for a defensive coach of Vic Fangio? I feel like the Belichick thing has lost a little luster as well. Smiley, Durante Jones, you're not going to read anything in his resume that's going to make you overly excited. But we've talked about it. Like, I don't believe that we always make the best choices anyway. So, like, here's the deal, Smiley. If you were excited about Jake Peets, there's no reason not to be excited about Durante Jones because they were hired with the same philosophy in place, right? These are guys they're well respected. They come highly recommended. They've been in the NFL. They're young, and they're both there. I think they're both around like 41 years old. So LSU had an average age on staff of over 50 last year. So the kind of the youth movement continues. And in Jones, you have someone who's coached secondaries in the NFL for the last 5 years. So he is as up to date on the latest strategies on how to stop these modern offenses as anyone will be. But the main part is I just think that it's his big break. Same thing with Peeps. And I think that when somebody takes a bet on you, you tend to go harder for that person. So we will see. Emil, I want Baker on staff from a recruiter standpoint. Yeah, look, man, if you get the Miami DC as your linebacker coach, I say that's a win. I don't know if they're going to give him the $700,000, but we will see. Survive. I have not heard anything about Trev Falk joining the staff. It says rumors galore in Lafayette, but I will ask around. Musso, do we have Brad?
Yeah.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Off the Bench. T-Bob Musso hanging out with you here on 104.5, 100.94.7 ESPN. We just talked a lot of Saints cap, as we have done over the last couple of weeks. We're obviously approaching from a local perspective. I'd like to get a national perspective. And so I want to welcome in PFF Brad at PFF_Brad, Bradley Spielberger, salary cap analyst at Pro Football Focus, also contributes to overthecap.com. And a little bit of a local tie here, Tulane Law alumni. Brad, what's going on, man?
Doing well. I was about to say I am a national voice, I suppose, but I live down in beautiful New Orleans, and I miss it every day.
Yeah, it's the absolute best. Okay, Brad, let's just dive in, man. The Saints are set to be $100 million over the cap. I don't want to lead you in any direction. What is your current view of the Saints salary cap and how it affects them this offseason?
Yeah, sure. So, to put it in an analogy that I think your daily listeners will understand, they're basically the hedge fund in this GameStop situation where, they expected the cap to go up by about 10, 15 million as it has for the last several years, meaning it would be in the 215, 220 range. And instead, it's looking like it could be in the 180 range. So, it's an unfortunate situation, but GM Mickey Loomis and their capologist Kai Harley, who's one of the best in the business, have been doing this for, the better part of a decade. So, from a bird's eye view, they just have to make a ton of moves to push money down the line. They're going to have to restructure a bunch of deals, make a couple tough cuts potentially. And I think Drew Brees, it's got to be a post-Drew Brees Saints situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Drew Brees coming off the books can get rid of, depending on when you cut him and all that weird manipulation. I think that's like $25 million off the top. So I guess, so here's the question, and this is the big question that all Saints fans are kind of debating back and forth. With these cap limitations, do you see them being able to get competitive this offseason, right? Because Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton have talked about how they don't want to reset. They want to find a way to, they want to remain relevant. They want to continue to compete. And they have a lot of the pieces and they can retain a lot of those pieces. But then it's like, what do you do at quarterback? What's left over at quarterback? How active do you think the Saints can be when it comes to guys like Stafford or any of these other quarterback names that are going to hit the market?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a question of, are you going to take this great roster that has a lot of talent and not say waste it, but kind of just let it kind of fizzle out after this Drew Brees era? So I'm not so sure about, making a trade for a Stafford or something like that. It's possible, but if you get into a situation like that, you're basically saying, all right, we're going to go all in on 2021, and then we need the cap to jump. But even if it does, we're looking at kind of hamstringing ourselves for the next 2 or 3 years. From my perspective, I don't want them to tank or kind of sell out. It doesn't make sense. But that quarterback position, I think they may have to just get all they can out of a Jameis Winston if they bring him back, or try to make the Taysom offense go, which might be a bit tricky. But that is the big question, is what they do at the most important position in all of sports.
So what is the market, do you think, for Winston this offseason? And there's going to be other teams that'll be interested in him. He doesn't really have anything from last year that would have affected his value either way. Maybe being a year removed bumps him up. What, do you have a price point on or kind of a read on what the market for Winston would be?
Yeah, so I think the beauty it's working in the Saints' favor is that this should be a really flooded quarterback market this offseason. There's a lot of guys available. We obviously mentioned Stafford. Obviously, Watson's the holy grail. But even guys like a Jimmy Garoppolo or, several other of these veteran quarterbacks become available. So I think that should keep Winston's price down. I think they should be able to bring him back on another 1 year flyer, so to speak, maybe 1 year, $5 million instead of the 1 year, $3 million they gave him, just if they're happy with his progress and all of that. And I think they really need that to be the situation. And I think that there's a chance that was kind of discussed, when bringing him in the first place. We're taking a bet on you. You're not totally well received across the league, but we believe in you and your talent, and we can get you in the system, learn from Drew for a year. Trust us, do one more flyer. Maybe you'll start a bunch of games, and then we can talk a big-time extension.
Talking to Brad Spielberger at PFF_Brad here on Off the Bench. Okay, let's go back to Stafford then, because he is obviously the apple of everyone's eye, right? I mean, Saints fans and myself included, we can just I could go to sleep dreaming about Stafford in a black and gold uniform with Sean Payton standing behind him. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of Indy fans that feel the same. I think Patriots fans would feel the same. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to want Stafford. If not New Orleans, do you have a landing spot that you think fits Stafford better than the others?
Yeah, so those two you mentioned. And then I think in the NFC, the Washington football team, I think make a lot of sense. They're top 5 in cap space, projected cap space for 2021. And they had some of the worst quarterback play in the league last year and obviously still made the playoffs. So you throw a legit quarterback in that situation, maybe add another receiver with their cap space, and I think they could be contending in a bit of a weaker NFC. And then I think the one last AFC team, kind of a sleeper, is the Denver Broncos. They just hired George Payton as GM. He was the Vikings assistant GM for a long time. So he, NFC North guy, he knows Stafford. And I think we kind of have an understanding of who Drew Lock is as a quarterback. But that's a good roster outside of quarterback again.
Yes.
I mean, they drafted a ton of receivers. They have a good defense, good defensive coach. So they're pretty close as well.
So Brad, a lot of what the Saints are going to eventually have to deal with or not deal with, as you said, like everything they kind of do with the voidable years at the end and spreading the money out along there, like as long as the cap would have continued to rise, someone explained to me where you could almost explain that like an interest-free loan, like you were fine, right? But then this drop in the cap, as you said, it really tightens everything. It makes everything tougher. Where it would get real hairy for the Saints would it be if the cap would stagnate again the following year. So let's say it's around like 180, 190, whatever it ends up this year. Do you expect it to rise in 2022? Or is it going to be a situation where the kind of, the ripple effects of this COVID economy in the NFL, does it keep that cap suppressed for a couple of years?
It's a great question. I think the piece that I can't speak to, of course, is gate revenues and how it's going to look and getting fans in the building, in next year. Hopefully, we're back to a situation where we can have at least, maybe half capacity or 75% or whatever the case may be there. But I do think a 17th regular season game and the influx of cash from gambling revenues should lead to a spike in this cap.
Okay. So that'd be great news for the New Orleans Saints. Brad, looking at the NFL as a whole, obviously there's a lot of teams that do have a lot of cap space, but do you think there's one team that is maybe positioned to be a big mover in terms of turning things around, and maybe by the end of this offseason, they're the team that's going to have kind of all the hype going into fall?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think the two, you probably get, people laugh when you say this, but it's the two teams picking first and second. It's the Jaguars and the Jets. And I say that not just because they're probably going to land Trevor Lawrence and then, Wilson or Fields, but they also happen to be first and second in cap space for 2021. And so I think what's going to happen this offseason with so many teams struggling just to retain their own guys, just to, get their cap clean for the years going forward, is teams that do have cap space can kind of really create an advantage there because they can offer, free agents from other teams and maybe a lot of teams can't do that. So, again, hype doesn't necessarily mean success. So the question was about hype. I think there's going to be a lot of hype around those teams for 2021. Are they going to be good right away? Maybe not. But I do think that they could really kind of separate themselves in terms of how much they allocate to their roster, in this offseason.
So this doesn't maybe have to do with the cap specifically. Do you think the Jets get Deshaun Watson?
I mean, it would be a good fit. It would make a lot of sense if they're willing to part ways with that number 2 overall pick. They obviously seemed like they were going to be getting Trevor Lawrence, and there is a drop off from him to the next guy. So, in my opinion, that's the best fit. Miami's a great spot as well, but I think the Jets could make a lot of sense. They have the extra first round picks from the Jamal Adams trade from the Seahawks. They just have so much that they could. Basically, if they do it, they wouldn't be hamstrung and wouldn't become the Texans again. Basically, a team that traded away a bunch of firsts and couldn't build a team around Watson. That wouldn't happen to them. Yeah,
and as you're pointing out, right, the Texans are desperate for all of those draft resources, so it just makes too much sense. Brad Spielberger at PFF_Brad, salary cap analyst at PFF. Find him at overthecap.com, writing as well. Tulane Law alum. Brad, thank you so much for joining us, man. Anything else that we left out on the way out?
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate coming on, and I just wish it wasn't over the phone. Wish I could be back down there in person.
Eventually, Brad. Eventually, yes, we'll all be reunited once again. Brad Spielberg, go check out his work. All right, coming up next, closing out hour number 2, and then get ready for hour number 3, in which we'll talk some Pels, we'll talk some Tom Brady, as I got a story that's going to absolutely blow your mind. In terms of just the numbers surrounding Brady and what he's accomplished in the NFL. Like, there is no doubt that Tom Brady is the best to ever do, and it's not even close. We'll get to it later here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
Off the Bench.
Go to Go Roof today, GEAUXroof.com. That's GEAUXroof.com. You already know I love the guys over there at Go Roof, and the reasons are many. First off, look, they're great guys, they're fun guys, but really it's all about the work, right? The quality of the work, the quality of the process and dealing with them. When you go to GEAUXroof.com or call 927-8300, you get a free professional estimate. That's right, a free professional estimate, no money up front. And then after that, you make a fully informed decision. And when the work is done, you have peace of mind afterwards as well. A 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty when you work with Go Roof. So not only do you get a beautiful new roof every single time, but you have peace of mind before, during, and after the job. So what are you waiting for? 927-8300. Hit him with the roofs up when you talk to him. Tell him Off the Bench sent you. GoRoof.com. That's GEAUX roof.com. Boom, 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 boom. No, dude. Todd, Gerald's about to lay on that trap, dude. There's nothing Cat loves more than laying on anything that seems like it shouldn't be laid on. Yo, Alex, what's up? Miho, long snapper extraordinaire. One of my old teammates, Alex Russian, just had a cute little baby in the chat. Hope the dad life is treating you well, Miho. I hope Gerald is not chewing the cord. If he is, we are in big trouble because we will get kicked off of the internet. We are hardwired in so that we don't lose internet. Let me let the dog out real quick. Oh, I got contact COVID tracing, Alex. That's why I'm doing this from the house. Sure. Come on. I mean, it's a thick internet. It's a thick Ethernet cord. That thing's like 100 feet long too, or a couple like 50 or 60 footers. It's the long boys. Yeah. Oh, there he is. See, he's back already. I don't even know what he wanted to go outside for. He really just wants to go outside to play. I don't even think he had to go to the bathroom. Thicker the cable, the faster the internet. There you go, dude. Good call, bro. Muso, what is the live that I need to make up here?
Advanticlean.
Okay, Advanticlean. Let's remember that. Advanticlean. Yes, Daniel, that Ethernet can move a lot of science through it, a lot of stonks through it. If only the man would let us move our stonks. Had buys in for knock and everything else going on today. Shut down thanks to Robinhood. Now I'm just hoping 45. That my AMC buys from really yesterday don't fall apart thanks to Robinhood. We'll have to wait and see. The man trying to keep the little man down. How are you going to make this app literally named Robinhood, steal from the rich, give to the poor, and then just like not allow the poor to buy it? Freaking crazy. Yes, Mario Aber, I am rocking Star Wars on in the background. It was and we had all of A New Hope play earlier. And now we got Empire playing. Empire, probably the best Star Wars movie. It took me a while to get there. It actually was not until my what was it? It was not excuse me. Until a few weeks ago. I always had Empire number 2 on my list. And then a few weeks ago, at the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, and they released it in theaters, and
All-Star Toyota presents
and it's mind blowing in
theaters.
theaters.
ESPN
So
Baton
good.
Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. T-Bob Musso hanging out with you this morning. We got a great final hour coming up for you next. We're going to talk. So The Athletic came out with an article, and I think it's like 21 amazing facts heading into Super Bowl LV, which is 55 Super Bowl large value. It's a lot of Tom Brady numbers that are just going to absolutely blow your mind. Some NFL news to close out the hour here. The Texans have made a hire. Texans hire David Culley. Interesting hire here for Houston. He's been a wide receivers coach, passing game coordinator, assistant head coach in Baltimore the last few years. Seems like a great long time NFL coach, right? But it's kind of crazy. I say long time. He's going to be 65 years old when he makes his coaching debut. That'll make him the oldest coach in NFL history to make his head coach debut. I feel kind of bad for him, though, unfortunately, because I do feel like he's being set up to fail, right? Like this Texans team, they got no QB, they got no draft picks, no good roster to begin with. Now, they'll get one or the other, right? They'll either have a QB or they'll have draft picks. But will he, if it's the latter, if Watson leaves like I expect, and you get some of those jet picks or whatever, does Culley really get to be the one to see that bear fruit long term? Or has he been hired kind of as an in-between guy, and then a couple of years they move on after these players start to get a bit older? I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. But either way, congrats to David Culley, man, grinding his entire life. And here he goes, NFL head coach at 65 years old. Todd Jones and Neil, new Netflix new show Spycraft. I watched a little Spycraft last night. It was pretty good. I don't know that I loved it, but it was just a kind of chill, like turn your brain off and watch some cool spy stuff that I think I was looking for at the time. For those who don't know, it's a show on Netflix, and it's all about like old spy techniques and what they used to do, like the technology between poison assassinations or listening devices. I will say this: when you look at the extent to which these guys have gone in the past to listen to whoever they want to spy on. And then you realize, okay, that seemed super advanced and crazy. And that was in the 1960s. It does make you wonder what in the hell is at the true cutting edge. What in the world is going on in the world of espionage right now, right? Because we know about the drones. And we know about all this other incredible, just look at you from satellites, eye in the sky type of deals. And they even talk about some of that, right? But if it's public knowledge, you have to imagine that it's not going to be the real mind-blowing stuff. That's all I could think about after watching Spycraft is what in the world is really going on today. It blows my mind. Just like dealing with Advanaclean will blow your mind if you have any water, mold, or fire damage. That's right. You wake up, this is how it goes down a lot of times. You wake up, you get out of bed, you got wet socks. That's a horrible feeling. Why did it happen? Because your pipes burst. Who do you want to work with? You're probably thinking, well, I should probably call the insurance company, right? Wrong. If you do that, they're going to funnel you to companies that they have a relationship with, okay? That means they might be getting kickbacks. They're not working with your best interest at heart. You want to call Advanaclean, and they're open 24/7, 365 days a year, so you don't got to worry about that. 225-369-5228. They take care of all the documentation. They deal with the insurance company for you. So they work with your best interest at heart. So what are you waiting for? Advanacleanbr.com. Call 225-369-5228. It's not just residential, businesses as well. Go with the company that's going to work for you. All right, when we get back here on Off the Bench, hour number 3 coming up. We are going to dive into that Brady article that I talked about. We're going to talk Pelicans. We got Scott Kushner coming on to talk about Tennessee's new hire. There's the Volunteers have hired Josh Heupel, and as well as some Pels talk. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
See, man. Smiley, Jordy got fired by my bosses. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is, man. And so now here we are, right? It sucks. What is Wormwood, Todd? I'm down to check out Wormwood. Anybody wearing the double mask? Come on, man. Oh, I got a mask. Hold on, I got a mask for you. I got a mask for you. What is Wormwood? Everybody just keeps saying Wormwood's great. What is it, though? Check out this mask. Oh, shoot. Oh, hold on. Oh, my God. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. It just freaking broke. So I tried to put it on my headphones on. What's up, y'all? Welcome in. Off the bench. Guess I can tape that. It's a little disappointing. This is way too loose. It's way too big. Look at that thing. Guess I couldn't put it on my headphones though. I can't remember who made this. I would love to give them a shout out. It's like that. I don't know what you call this. It's like foam, basically. It's like some sort of foam. I don't know. I need to tape up this face shield now that I broke it, but it's like $50, right? For $50, that ain't bad, even though it doesn't really fit my head too well. This is the way. I got it. Kyle Aycock says I got to get the Black Series helmet when it comes out in April. I've got a lead on a couple helmets that I may be looking into. We'll see. Okay, Todd Jones. Okay, so Wormwood. Okay, yeah, this is all the MK Ultra stuff. I've actually read about I've read about that scientist that took the LSD and is in the argument like, was he jumped out of the window? Was he pushed out of the window? Who knows? William, you're a nerd. Chill out. Embarrassed for me. You're in the minority now, bro. Nerds rule the world. Has anybody seen WandaVision? What do y'all think about WandaVision?
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, January the 28th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect mostly sunny skies, a high of 58. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, catch that up the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up today on OTB OT, Scott Kushner from the New Orleans Advocate Times-Picayune joins the show at 9:30 to talk Pels. Follow the show today on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel and interact inside the Bayou 4 chat. Make sure you get subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set those notifications. New content is posted there daily. OTB OT starts right now.
Definitely going with the Bewitched vibe. I mean, she's almost just doing this.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB OT starting now. The final hour of the show. We take you 9 to 10. This is where we can talk about whatever the hell we want, really. We can talk about nerdy stuff, television, doesn't matter. We're going to talk about Tom Brady, which some of you may not like, but look, man, don't be such a hater. You got to give credit where credit is due. And when you hear some of the numbers that are coming out of this Brady article in The Athletic, they're going to blow your mind. But during the last commercial break, on top of showing off my sick Mando helmet, I was looking. Well, I was just asking the chat what they thought about a show, the new show WandaVision, right? And I'm not the biggest Marvel guy. I like Marvel fine. Definitely enjoyed the movies. I don't think nowadays I get like uber excited anymore, and I really don't care about Wanda or Vision or Scarlet Witch or Vision, really, if you're going to ask me about the Marvel characters. But the show's got something there. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but Eric Matt saying I'm all in on WandaVision. Bo Wilson says I really like it. Justice Jordy says zero interest in WandaVision. It's got this great old kind of sitcom type of feel. I know they filmed some episodes in front of a live audience. Look, it's 30 minutes. If you're thinking about getting into, it's only 3 episodes, so a real low barrier of entry there. I think it moves a bit slow through the first 3. But all in all, there's like just enough there to get me a little excited for that. There's just enough there to get me a little excited for tomorrow. Justin Jordy says, I need AMC to recover. Yeah, man. Don't we all? The big man holding us down right now. Sad, very sad. People are talking about the Magicians up in here. Look, Magicians, the show on Netflix, I think it was on Sci-Fi originally. It's all right. Look, I'm a sucker for any sort of magic school, right? I absolutely loved Hogwarts and the Harry Potter books growing up. And like one of the best part about those books is the idea of a school where you learn magic. Okay. So I tried out the Magicians and I probably got a season in and it's just a little too CW, right? It's like the Arrow thing or the Flash or something. Like there's some cool moments. There's definitely some cool elements of it. And look, everybody's incredibly good looking because it's a CW, but there's just a little much CW teen drama, just a little too much to really keep its hooks in me. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't have a great TV show right now ever since Queen's Gambit changed my life and got me completely obsessed with chess 2 months ago. All right, we're about to dive into this. Let's get into this Super Bowl, this Tom Brady article, and just how mind-blowing what Brady has done. Before that, though, I found the Jeff Duncan tweet that I was referencing earlier, and here are the players with Louisiana ties that went to Louisiana schools, really. So this doesn't even count where you're born. This is where you went to school in this Super Bowl 55. You have Leonard Fournette, Cyril Grayson. How about that? Cyril Grayson hold it down in the NFL and Tampa Bay's roster. But you have Leonard Fournette, Cyril Grayson, Kevin Minter, and Devin White, and Robert Griffin, who went to Tulane, all on the Tampa roster. So 5 players there. And then on Kansas City, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyrann Mathieu, and Darrell Williams from LSU. You have Keys from Tulane. I don't actually know his name. It's T. Keys from Tulane, E. McGuire from UL, and then Snead from La Tech. So 6 players there, 11 players from Louisiana colleges playing in this Super Bowl, and those are with 53-man rosters, dude. If you don't think per capita Louisiana's the most athletic state in the union, you got another thing coming. Man, yeah, it's crazy. The Robin Hood's completely abandoned the entire thing they were built for. Give the rich, give the poor. All right, let's dive into this article because I don't think anyone is fighting this anymore. I get that. But there is no doubt. I mean, this is an article. It's on theathletic.com today. 21 amazing facts heading into Super Bowl LV. And it's all about Tom Brady. And I don't think anyone's really banging this. There's no debate. Tom Brady's the greatest football player of all time. What I think this article shows, and where it gets kind of mind-blowing, is that this really drives home that not only is he the greatest of all time, but it's not even particularly close. And this is a conversation I just had recently when I was arguing with people, right? And I'm talking about, we're talking about basketball players. We're talking about who's the greatest ranked basketball players in history, right? And look, I'm a big Wilt Chamberlain guy. I think Wilt Chamberlain gets overly knocked for the success that he had against his current competition. Oh, well, look at who he was playing against. He's playing against unathletic white guys, blah, blah. Okay, look, that's all well and good, but you can control the quality of your opponents, to use a chess analogy. Paul Morphy could not control the quality of his opponents. Paul Morphy was just as good as he needed to be world champion. Wilt Chamberlain took it a step further. He was not only just better than everyone else, but he also like the gap that he created is really unfathomable in terms of how he outperformed his peers. The level at which he outperformed his peers, no one has ever even sniffed. And so, yes, did he play in an easier era? Absolutely. But he did things that no one has ever done. That's why this Tom Brady stuff gets so crazy. Because when we look at these numbers, not only is he playing in the modern era, where it's supposed to be hard to keep things together, it's supposed to be hard to have consistent success, but he has still, within that modern era, at least when it comes to playoff stats, completely outstripped all of his peers. And it's not even close. So this is Brady's 10th Super Bowl. We all know that. He becomes the 4th QB to go to the Super Bowl with 2 different teams, joining Peyton Manning, Kurt Warner, and Craig Morton. That's right. You got it. How about Craig Morton getting on the list with Manning, Warner, and Brady? I guess he was a backup on the Cowboys and Broncos, and they went. Manning is the only player to win the Super Bowl with multiple franchises, so Brady's going to try to become the second ever to do that. And this is where it gets real funny, because here we're going to see just how long Tom's been in the game. Tom Brady was once the youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl at 24 years old. Big Ben beat him by winning one at 23. Now, 20 years later, he will try to become the oldest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl at 43 years old. This would be his 4th Super Bowl win after turning 37. Unitas, Manning, and Elway have 4 combined wins in that same situation post 37. How about this? And some of the best players from around the country, or from any sport, right? Every LeBron James point, all of Alex Ovechkin's goals, every single one of Michael Phelps's gold medals, right? The greatest Olympian in history, all these athletes that have been around forever that we watched from beginning to end, all have happened since Brady's first Super Bowl win. So here Tom Brady is playing in another Super Bowl, and within the time from his first Super Bowl to this one, all of LeBron James' career is taking place, all of Ovechkin's, all of Michael Phelps's Olympic dominance within that window. He is now playing a Super Bowl during his 4th presidential administration. He had 4 appearances in the Bush era, 5 and 6 when President Obama was president, 8 and 9 during President Trump's presidency, and now his 10th will come a month into President Biden's first term. When Tom Brady made his NFL debut in 2000, how about this? When he started playing in the league, there were 31 teams, 6 divisions, and the Seahawks played in the AFC. When Tom Brady, this from Bruce Feldman, when Tom Brady played and won his first Super Bowl in 2002, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen were both in kindergarten. This man, the quarterback, I mean, that's the type of generational matchup that we're talking about here. The quarterback that he will be squaring up with was in kindergarten. Pat Mahomes was 4 years old watching Tom Brady win his first Super Bowl, and now he's going to try to beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. If we're talking about GOATs, Babe Ruth played in 10 World Series, won 7 of them. Tom Brady, 10th Super Bowl, looking for his 7th dub. How about this for all you nerds out there? Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, your Sam Raimi Spider-Man, starring Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, was released 3 months after Tom Brady won that first Super Bowl. We just talked about Marvel. Think about how Marvel has exploded. None of that existed when Brady won his first Super Bowl, and now they own the world. Since that first Spider-Man movie, there have been 7 additional Spider-Man movies, and Tom Brady has appeared in a Super Bowl in all but 2 of the years that a Spider-Man movie was released. Of course, Spider-Man 3, he didn't go to a Super Bowl because why would you? Spider-Man 3 was horrible. Spider-Man 1 and 2 really hold up, especially 2. It's pretty damn good. And then in 2012, for The Amazing Spider-Man, that was the only other Spider-Man Super Bowl year that he missed, which I think that makes sense to me. I'm not a big fan of Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2. It's a lot of that kid from Social Network just like, oh, come on, MJ. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Don't do this. It doesn't work. Usher's You Got It Bad and Nickelback's How You Remind Me were the 2 songs of the top 2 songs in the U.S. the week of Tom Brady's first Super Bowl in 2002. Nickelback still topping the charts. That's how relevant they were when Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl. As a franchise, the Patriots have 11 Super Bowl appearances. And then there is no other franchise that beats Tom Brady alone. The Steelers, the Cowboys, and the Broncos have played in 8 Super Bowls. The Niners have played in 7 Super Bowls, and Tom Brady has played in 10. He has thrown for almost 3,000 yards in Super Bowls alone. He's got 2,800 yards. Second place on that list is Kurt Warner with 1,100. He's thrown 18 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl. Second place is Montana with 11. Brady now has an NFL record 41 second half touchdown passes in his postseason career. That's more than Manning, Brees, Roethlisberger, Warner. Most wins after turn of 40. I mean, the list goes on. I still got plenty more, but I think the point is clear, right? By the way, he's also completed 256 passes in the Super Bowl. Second place in that list, Peyton Manning, and 103. So not even close, right? Like if again, we talked about not just not being able to control the peers that you play against, but outstripping those peers. And Tom Brady is separating from the pack and then some. And so there can be no doubt that this is the greatest football player that you have ever seen in your entire life. And now he will go against what looks like the second greatest football player I've ever seen in my entire life, in Pat Mahomes. And we'll get into Mahomes coming a bit later in the hour as we look at the kind of numbers that he would have to put up to try to challenge Tommy Brady. But how about that, dude? Mind-blowing numbers from the guy who's, 10 Super Bowls says it all. Coming up next, we're going to recap last night's Pels wins, the sad state of Bradley Beal, probably get some more nerd talk as well. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
OTB.
All right, boys. Yeah, Daniel, I think I agree with that. J.K. Simmons, Jonah Jameson is the best character, comic character brought to life, changed my mind. He's in the Hall of Fame. I think that, although he's not on that level, I think that Tom Holland actually is a really good Spider-Man. I think other casting superstars in nerd movies, I think that Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter movies is as perfect as you could possibly be. Yes, in the back, there is that is Empire Strikes Back playing on the television. And as William Ivey says, Star Wars is basically like porn to me. So yeah, I agree. Maybe not safe for work there. Randall Offrick, if Breeze retired last year, Brady would have been with the Saints. We'd be living the Super Bowl right now. I did read that. Oh, that's a good call, Justice. Alan Rickman as Snape is fantastic as well. Yeah, it's a huge bummer, but it's not a huge bummer. It just is what it is. Look, you had to allow Drew Brees that runway, right? He wanted one more shot at it, run it back one more time. But there are multiple reports out there that if Drew Brees had retired going into 2019, that Tom Brady was going to join the New Orleans Saints, which would have been awesome. I've not seen Venom either. William Ivy's a big sci-fi guy. I don't get the appeal of Venom. Venom looked cool when I was younger. He had that long tongue. He was always like super jacked and kind of violent. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't. Wow, Bilbo Baggins. You didn't realize that Alan Rickman was Hans Gruber? I was the cowboy, McLean. Yippee-ki-yay. I love him. Oh, Matthew Fonseca, great call. Ian McKellen as Gandalf. Fantastic. See, I don't know anything about Carnage, Bilbo. I just know that he's red and he's Venom basically, but more crazy and more violent. I don't really know Marvel though. I grew up a DC kid. I don't really know how I feel about Super Bowl comics at all though now. I mean, I definitely I don't dislike them, but they just don't hold a lot of interest for me actually anymore. I still get nostalgic about what I grew up reading. I love the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern stuff. Zachary Moe, Kate Blanchett playing Galadriel. That's another excellent one. Alex, I've seen that old SNES game on Games Done Quick, Maximum Carnage. Yeah, I didn't know that till I was adult either, that Mark Hamill was the Joker from Batman. I don't know if I love, so I did love the Batman animated series, but I don't know. I don't know if I loved it as much as a lot of people have, but I know a lot of people are really excited to rewatch it on HBO Max. I haven't really dabbled in it too much just yet. Oh my God, dude. Look at Luke about to take down his AT-AT. Are you kidding me? Who's his co-pilot there? It's not Wedge. It's not Biggs. I can't remember, but he gets freaking crushed right here. X-Men, greater than Justice League, greater than Marvel. I'm talking about the movies. William Ivy, that is the worst opinion probably that this chat has ever seen. I grew up a huge DC kid. The Justice League movies are terrible. Oh, you're talking about cartoons? We could be talking about cartoons. My bad. Caleb Nance left hanging on WandaVision to really have an opinion. Yeah. Yeah, we can't. There's enough in WandaVision to string you along. If WandaVision had that same pacing and each episode would be an hour, it would be horrible, right? But it's 30 minutes. It's quick. There's some fun stuff, some weird stuff, and you know it's about to get really big in terms of scope. And the production values are excellent. That's the other thing that we should say. Which of course our Galaxy Quest is a great movie. I've not messed. I don't really remember the X-Men animated series beyond just watching it and that theme song. The ba-da-ba-da-bam-bam-bam, ba-da-ba-da-bam-bam-bam, ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum-bam, ba-dum.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, OT, 104.5 ESPN. Go ahead and get in the chat, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Hit the like button if you want to come hang out. We're having some fun during the commercial breaks, talking a lot of nerdy stuff, talking about some of the best castings of all time. Definitely like Alan Rickman as Professor Snape, Kate Blanchett as Galadriel, Ian McKellen as Gandalf. I wish I could remember her name, but the actress who plays Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter movies is fantastic as well. And it was all kicked off by maybe the best, which is J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson in that original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. In fact, I mean, that's the reason why J.K. Simmons has carried forward into even the most recent Spider-Mans, because it's fantastic. And now there seems to be a lot of Galaxy Quest love. Yeah, Maggie Smith. Thank you, Eric. That is Professor McGonagall. Last night, the New Orleans Pelicans finally got a win. That's right. The Pellies. It only took going against the team with the worst record in the NBA, missing 8 of its players. But look, man, after that T-Wolves game last week, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, the Pelicans have to take every win they can snag. What's kind of intriguing about this is I think the most interesting part of this game actually doesn't have to do with the New Orleans Pelicans. The most interesting part has to do with Bradley Beal. Because let's be clear, I think the Pelicans are about ready to not move on from this year, but they're about ready to kind of show you their hand and where their heads are at for the rest of this year. They are going to be sellers at the trade deadline. We talked about Sham's report in The Athletic saying that Lonzo and JJ Redick, the Pelicans have been fielding calls for them. Well, Brian Windhorst took it one step further, saying that Eric Bledsoe is also in the mix. And this makes a ton of sense. I don't know if Bledsoe's been, quite frankly, pretty atrocious to watch this year. I don't think you've gotten a lot of the defensive value out of him. And offensively, he's just empty possession after empty possession. So, I have no problem with all 3 of those guys being up. But what it does kind of show you where the Pelicans' focus is at now, right? I mean, they move those guys, you get some resources in return, and maybe more importantly, you open up minutes for Nickeil Alexander-Walker and the rookie Kyra Lewis Jr. out of Alabama. And so what that does is tell us that they're looking forward, right? They're kind of maybe saying, you know what, this season just ain't it. This roster, which we thought we could make work on paper, is not working. It's time to start to develop. And I don't hate that. I know there's a lot of people that will, but it does make losing a lot more palatable, in my opinion, if you think there's kind of hope on the horizon, right? And if you don't make these moves and you just stay status quo and you continue to lose, well, then that's just doubly frustrating, because you're like, well, we're not going to get any better. This team is broken from a makeup standpoint, and yet no changes were made to address it. So I don't mind them adopting a more long-term vision, because if you lose with the youngins, like I said, it feels like you're kind of swimming towards a goal. If you lose with the team you have now, it just feels like you're treading water and you're absolutely just drowning. Like you're going to drown eventually, and you're not going to get anywhere where you want to be. So that's where the Pelicans are at, right? I'm not going to be married to any wins or losses here, because I think that this team is going to undergo big changes over the next few weeks. Where last night's game was so interesting has everything to do with Bradley Beal. And look, a lot of Pelicans fans would dream about getting Bradley Beal. Given the frustrations that we're about to talk about, I don't know why he would leave one, smaller market losing team for another even smaller market, even more losing team in the New Orleans Pelicans. So I don't think it happens. But I mean, you want to talk about feeling bad for someone. Bradley Beal last night was asked, hey, Bradley, are you frustrated? He said it's the sky blue. And it is wild. It's not wild how he arrived there. It's obvious, but it's wild how bad the Washington Wizards have been, despite how good Bradley Beal has been. Bradley Beal currently leads the NBA, averaging 35 points a game. This man averages 35 points a game, and he's on a team with the worst record in the NBA. Here's the insane stat, though. This is just, I've never seen anything like this. Since 2019, Bradley Beal, when he has scored 40 or more points, which I think he went for 45 last night, when he scored 40 or more, the Wizards have lost 10 straight games. Imagine dropping 40-plus point 10 times, and you're 0-10 in those games. Like that's obvious. I mean, that's an NBA record, obviously, but that should be borderline impossible. In fact, if you look at the 95 players in NBA history that have at least 10 40-point games, so first off, not even 100 players have accomplished that. But Bradley Beal, he's better than 10. He's done it 25 times. He has a 6-19 record in those 25 games. 6-19. And my poor guy, dude, he scored 47 last night. Excuse me. My poor guy was just defeated last night. They asked him about the All-Star game. He was like, well, I don't know, man. I was leading the league last year in points. I didn't get the vote. So he said he's not getting his hopes up. So I am here to call upon you today. Look, I don't think Bradley Beal ends up in a Pelicans uniform. So I'm not saying that you have any, you don't know this man anything. You don't have to have any allegiance towards him. But surely we can empathize, right? We can empathize with anybody who's dominating their competition only to fail. Let's at least vote this man in the All-Star game. Let him do whatever All-Star weekend looks like this year. Let him see all the other big guys. Just let him put that on his resume. He deserves it. And look, I'd be down if he ends up in New Orleans. I just don't think that there's a chance, unfortunately. Bilbo T. Baggins NBA All-Star voting is a joke. Yeah, it is. It is a little interesting because, the Pro Bowl is the biggest joke, but that's kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. I see that kind of used less and less in guys' resume. The NBA All-Star Game means a ton for resume and for making the Hall of Fame. And so I would like to see some changes therein. William Ivey, T-Bob, how's Jackson Hayes progressing? Not well. In fact, if you look, the player who has the biggest difference when he's on the court or not is Steven Adams right now, which great for Adams. I think the Pelicans are 12 points better when he is on the court, per 100 possessions. But the problem with that is just as much of that about Adams being good is about Jackson Hayes struggling. But that's okay, right? At least it goes back to what I said with Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kyra Lewis Jr. If you want to start playing those guys, you want to sit or you trade some of your vets for resources. I'm fine with that. Let's develop Jackson Hayes with more minutes than he would get otherwise. Let's develop Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Kyra Lewis Jr. and let's see if you have a stronger team in place for the future than you have currently. We'll see. Yeah. Of course, Kobe got all-star votes he deserves, man. Shout out, Kobe. All right, when we get back here on Off the Bench, going to talk to Scott Kushner about the hiring of Josh Heupel over there at Tennessee, how he's feeling as a volunteer. And look, keep all your nerd talk coming in, and we'll get to it all. There are the commercial breaks before, after the show. You already know. Keep it locked right here on OTB OT 104.5 ESPN.
OTB OT.
Ooh, starting to lose a little steam here, boys. When I asked what was the best breakfast cheese this morning, I had no idea everybody's going to have so many opinions. That sucks, Randall. Oh, I got it, Bilbo. We straight, man. Randall says, now I see it really does suck for the Pels is, yes, they have all those draft picks for the next draft, but it's going to be the worst draft as far as talent last 20 years. Ugh. Where's Chewy? Chewy! Oh, Chewy was in the bedroom. Boy, you know you ain't supposed to be on the bed. What you doing, dude? Come here. Chewy, come here. Here you go. Hey, sit. Chewy, sit. Good boy, stay. Oh, there's Gerald. Gerald was over there. Gerald's over at the front door here now. What's up, boy? Is Stan Van Gundy related to Ron Jeremy? Well, I haven't seen him in the locker room. I have to imagine he is. No, Joey, you thought I was just chilling during the radio like that? No, that's all good, dude. No worries. New Promise Neverland tonight. Get in on it. What is that? Is that like a Michael Jackson thing? Is that like Finding Neverland? It's horrible. What's everybody going to do this weekend? Thank you. He is a very good looking dog. I'm on lockdown, so I can't leave. Yeah, I got a cat too. Gerald, come here. Why do cats like that noise so much? This is Gerald the cat. Gerald, say what's up. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Meow. I know I got to change the fiery batter, dude. It just happened today, okay? It just happened today. Wow, Avo, so that's a new anime? Okay, I mean, look, I'm always down for new anime. I need a good anime. Okay, watching some LCS, smoking some meat, nice. Yes, Daniel, he is a chonky cat. This is true. But we told the story earlier this week. He's from the streets of Baton Rouge, holding it down. Okay, that's true. We got LSU, Texas Tech coming on. I watched the first season of Attack on Titan. It was pretty good. It's a little anime for me. My least favorite part of anime, and this is actually what turned me off on My Hero Academia, even though I know people love it so much, I hate when the main anime character just expounds and expounds and expounds and expounds. And like for the 7,000th time tells me how motivated they are to save the day. It's just way too much. It's just way too much. Alex, where are we in the LCS season currently? Seconds. He's talking about League of Legends, Bilbo. My favorite anime ever is Death Note. Was incredible. I'm trying to think about what else I ever really loved. There's a bunch of random stuff like Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust was good. I randomly watched Lupin the Third Blood Spray of Goemon Ishikawa, which sounds like an intense title, but it's actually awesome.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTBOT hanging out with you here on 104.5 ESPN, also youtube.com/1045 ESPN. If you want to come watch and hang out, if you're a nerd, I would say it's a safe space. The commercial talk has changed to anime and League of Legends and LCS. What's going on this weekend? Smoking meats. We're talking about a lot of things. And speaking of, well, no. Normally when I say speaking of, you try to find that segue, and it's just not there. So let's go to the phone lines. Let's welcome in my guy, Scott Kushner, covers the Pelicans for The Advocate. You already know, has the Polk and Kush podcast. Scott, what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm living, man. How are you, T-Bob?
You are living because you're a Tennessee fan, man. And it seems like every week, randomly, when we have you on, there happens to be some Tennessee news. So we'll start there since we have so many LSU football fans in here. Tennessee got a new AD, old boy from UCF. And who do you hire as the football head coach? His old boy from UCF, little Josh Heupel. What's been the reaction amongst you volunteer alumni?
Oh, always steady, sensible, sane. That's typically the Tennessee fan outlook, right? It's very expectations in line with reality. That's usually pretty much how it goes. No, I mean, everybody thought they were going to get James Franklin 2 days ago, and now Josh Heupel.
Wait, I didn't even realize that. So, like, the accepted rumor was that it was going to be Franklin, and then that transformed into Heupel?
Oh, yeah. So,
no.
and again, I only really know from a handful of, like, friends I still follow from there on Twitter, and then my buddies who I have a text thread with who are on, like 9 subscription sites. And it was just like, I would wake up and there'd be 450 texts about, James Franklin and Tony Elliott. And I mean, there was like 100 people that they were supposedly going to get. And then, today I call a handful of people who are, in the industry. I was like, what was going on with this Tennessee search? Like, oh yeah, like none of the agents would even let their clients talk to them because Tennessee is such a dumpster fire. Wow. I was like, the best part though, T-Bob, is that they paid a search firm like $120,000, and the search came back with the guy who worked for him 2 weeks ago.
I mean,
so it's like,
okay, but Scott, this is
why don't we
perfect.
start a search firm?
No, this is perfect. We could absolutely do this because I talked about this earlier this week with LSU hiring Durante Jones as defensive coordinator. Is like, and this just proves my point. I am a nihilist when it comes to hiring football coaches, right? I'm not saying that any coach is as good as the other. No, there's good and bad coaches, but the accepted best practices just don't work. I mean, if that's not the perfect example, you sat there and paid a search firm $120,000 just for the guy to be like, well, I got my buddy from Central Florida. Like, we worked together. We were great together. Like, no, like that's the entire point. Like, people, the best guys don't always get the opportunity. So, I mean, it's just if you're not a hiring nihilist, in college football especially, where $130 million has been spent in buyouts since 2013, and you're paying search firms to land on the most obvious situations. I mean, it's just it's horrible how these decisions are being made sometimes.
It's a joke, man. I really feel like an idiot for not getting in the coaching search firm business.
Yeah.
10 years ago. It's the greatest gig in the world.
Yeah, unreal, man. God, good on them. Actually, you know what though? Great hustle, great scheme for whoever did make that search firm and just came up with the answer of the guy you've already worked with. Okay, so we're not here. We're not here though to just talk Tennessee. Speaking of dysfunctional situations, we're also here to talk about everybody's favorite, the New Orleans Pelicans. Though last night they ran into a team that's maybe even more dysfunctional than they are, with Bradley Beal losing his 10th game in a row in which he scores over 40 points. We'll just start here just to kind of get the housekeeping out of the way. What do you think? Do you think a lot of Pelicans fans will want Bradley Beal to the Pelicans? Any chance there?
If you're the Pelicans, I think it's a very obvious decision that you'd like to do it. He's the kind of player you would mortgage a lot for, really, building all those picks and everything. That's the kind of player you would want to get. I don't see how on earth the Pelicans would have the best offer for them unless they're willing to throw Brandon Ingram there, which they're not. And so I just find it to be unrealistic, but I don't know what the other offers are. But yeah, you saw last night. It's like, man, what a perfect compliment he would be to Zion and Ingram.
Yeah, it's just like you said. I mean, why would Bradley Beal go from like a small market bad team to a smaller market, maybe even worse franchise? I don't know. Maybe that's not being fair to the Pelicans. But so the other big Pels news, though, Scott, it does look like they're going to be sellers around this trade deadline. Shams first reporting they were fielding calls for JJ and fielding calls for Lonzo, and now Brian Windhorst has added Eric Bledsoe to that mix. What do you think? Do you have any leads or ideas kind of on where some of these conversations could go?
I don't know where they're going to go, but I think just the concept of just trading them is honestly enough at this point. I don't really think the return matters all that much. You're not going to get that much in return, frankly. I think it's unrealistic to think that three guys who have pretty wildly underperformed and, all of whom, well, I guess not Bledsoe, but the other two guys are kind of at the end of their deal. So you're then dealing with the free market next year. Like, I don't really see how they're going to get much, but just the concept of trading them should on its own open up time to go become a developmental team, which is what this team probably should have started the year as, which is a team that's young and playing its young guys and trying to figure out who's a piece with Zion and Ingram for the long term and who isn't. And if you lose some games and you lose some games, they kind of tried to thread a needle and be competitive while at the same time, kind of getting those, Ingram and Zion some opportunities. And it just doesn't work. That they have not been able to find that middle ground. So just go veer into the direction that you probably should have been in the first place, and then go from there. So the trades on just trading them is a win.
So yeah, and that's what we just touched on. So this is a kind of a readjustment of what this season was maybe supposed to be. Like if they make these moves and they are firmly planted looking forward into the future. What about you? I mean, to me, Scott, I don't know about you, but to me, that actually makes the losing a bit more palatable. Because like at least it feels like you are, you're working towards something instead of just staying in place.
If you are losing with Eric Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball, and JJ Redick on the floor, you're not only losing, you're wasting opportunities to see what you have.
Yeah.
So it's a lose-lose situation. Michael Scott grand comparison game. It's a lose. Okay. And then you're trying to get to at least a win-lose. So you might not win the games, but you'll at least see Jackson Hayes, and you'll at least see Kyra Lewis Jr., and you'll at least see what Nickeil Alexander-Walker can do. And right now you really aren't getting a great concept of that most nights. Like, the only way you're going to be able to know what those guys are capable of in the future is if they actually play meaningful games and meaningful minutes. And right now that's not happening. So I got the idea that you want to try to be competitive in the present. That's why you bring in Bledsoe and Redick and all those guys, because you want to teach Ingram and Zion to win. But you're not winning. So you've kind of defeated the purpose there. So now just go out and don't worry about the result, but try to figure out who is the best piece with these guys going forward. Because, hey, Nickeil Alexander-Walker might be terrible, but he also might be good. Kyra Lewis might be terrible, but he also might be good. Like, you don't know these things until you get a lot of sample size next to the guys that you're building around.
Yeah, and if nothing else, like maybe they start terrible and then get good, right? I mean, they finally now get the chance to develop as well. Who do you think out of those three? I mean, I think the answer is probably obviously Naw. So maybe the better question is, how do you feel about the potential of those three guys, given the kind of limited windows we've seen them in thus far?
I actually think the guy I like the most is Kyra Lewis. And he hadn't played a lot, so I guess, he's kind of has not revealed as many flaws as the other ones have. But I really like the way he's aggressive. I like the way that he is willing to drive and kick. He seems to play fast and understand what the goals are for the team. He's really small, so I think that'll be limiting on some level. But I think he's like a guy you want to see more of. And the fact that you've got Lonzo and Bledsoe kind of clogging up those minutes in front of him and Redick, you kind of need to clear those out and get an idea. Because if you don't play Lonzo and Bledsoe and Redick, and they're just sitting on the bench in favor of Kyra Lewis, you've got a team that's going to be pissed off at you. And so you can't do that. You got to get him out in order to see Lewis. But I think he's got a lot of the stuff you need. I've seen a lot of flaws from Alexander Walker. I've seen a gazillion flaws out of Jackson Hayes. But really, Lewis, I think you're seeing a lot more. I see at least a lot more potential than I do, major, fundamental issues.
So what does Hayes need to do to get it right then? Give it
He should have started playing basketball when he was like 8 years old.
yeah. I guess that's fair.
When he was 16. No, I mean he's got potential. He's obviously super athletic and tall and bouncy and all those kinds of things. Just doesn't know anything about basketball. I don't know how you teach him. But that's tough. If someone were to go play offensive line, it's because they're big. Like, it doesn't mean they're going to know how to play offensive line for years.
Yeah. No, it's completely fair. Talking to Scott Kushner at Scott D. Kushner on Twitter, Poke and Kush Podcast. Check out his work in The Advocate. John Joliffe in the chat says, thoughts on Lonzo Ball getting injured while trying to market him?
Yeah, that's a problem. You don't want to, when you have your house on the market, you don't want to, have a roof cave in.
Yeah.
That's not great. But I mean, I don't think the ankle injury looked terribly serious. I mean, he's able to walk off on his own power. There's nothing that was too significant, I don't think. But at the same time, like, you want to play him and show that he can be helpful, especially on nights like last night where he actually played really well. That was the thing with last night. Like, that was a good version of the Pelicans. That's like, even though they were playing a bad team, that's the type of game that you wanted to see. They were actually defending. They played, it pretty hard, and they played with the pace and tempo, and they did all the stuff they're supposed to do. But then Lonzo gets hurt, so you don't really see all of it. So I don't know, if it really matters. I don't think anybody trading for Lonzo Ball is trading for like a piece to win a championship right now or anything like that. But certainly you'd rather him be healthy than the alternative.
Talking to Scott Kushner. And then how about, so like, as we're looking to the future, right? And you're kind of trying to reshape this Pelicans roster a bit, and pieces you're happy with, it's maybe a weird situation where, like, pieces you're happy with, and Ingram, Williamson, and Adams, who, all had great games last night. Ingram and Williamson both break 30 points for the first time they've ever done so together, 32 apiece. Adams grabs 18 boards. But like, those three pieces that you're happy with maybe actually don't fit together that well. Like, what do the longer term goals of this team need to be to make that work?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question to you. You've hit the elephant in the room of every one of those front office meetings, is my guess. Is they sit there and go, well, we've got these two guys we know we want to build around. We've got a third guy we feel pretty good about, and we don't know if any of them really work together all that well. Because, it's really hard to go get a guy like Brandon Ingram. It's really hard to go get a guy like Zion Williamson. But it doesn't necessarily mean they pair, perfectly well together. If Ingram shoots the way he did last night and Washington kept going under screens and letting him shoot, and he was just drilling 3-pointers, then yeah, I mean, you've got a pretty damn good combination. I just don't know if that's who you can count on Brandon Ingram being most nights.
Yeah.
What you need to do is get floor spacers, and you need to allow them to operate with the ball in space. That is very clearly where those two guys are at their best. And even with Ingram playmaking some, but yeah, I don't know if they're going to be a great combination. You might have to trade one of them at some point down the line, like that. But that was the whole thing with Embiid and Simmons. Everyone cracked all over them as just like, oh, you have two great players, but they don't work well together. And then you've got a different coach in there, and all of a sudden they look a lot better, right?
Yeah.
So it's not to say that it's impossible. Like, guys evolve, they grow. When you have really good players, you want to keep really good players. So, yeah, what you're bringing up is an extremely valid point, but I don't know. That's why you have to tinker, and you have to go trade guys who are not going to help you, because you've learned what you need to learn from that, and now you got to move on.
So, and then last one here, Scott. Then what's the deal with SVG right now? How are you feeling about him fitting in and kind of the early returns?
I've always thought coaching was pretty overrated.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
fair.
NBA. I don't think it matters all that much, but at the same time, he's not been the best coach I've ever seen. He certainly, has had some major blunders. I think his overall message, though, which is very different than Alvin Gentry, where Alvin Gentry was kind of like, look, the guys are playing hard. I respect them. They're professionals. They're going to figure this out. And Stan Van Gundy's is like, no, this is BS, and you got to be better. And this is embarrassing that you're not, when you don't play hard, I'm going to tell you you're not playing hard, and I'm going to call you out for it, and you're going to have to answer to somebody about it. I think that approach is probably better, especially with guys like Ingram and Zion. I feel like I've said that phrase a lot now, but that's kind of the whole franchise, those two guys. But like those guys wanted to be coached hard. That was part of the reason they brought in Van Gundy was they wanted to get better, and they knew they were not going to get better with a coach like Alvin, not because of Alvin, because of Alvin's style, which a lot of coaches have, which is, look, I trust you guys. Like, you're all professionals. You can figure this out. Like, they didn't want that. They wanted the Coach K style, like, in your face. Hey, you suck today. You know, this is how you got to get better, and that kind of thing. It's a very different. I mean, I'm sure you've been around a lot of different coaches who have, you know, have different styles.
Yes.
That's what those guys wanted. So I think the overall, like that method, I think is very good for this team. The day-to-day, you know, possession to possession, certainly there's going to be questions because the team sucks. And like the coach is a very obvious culprit when the team sucks, you know, and I'm not absolving him because he has not been great by any stretch, but I do think his approach is better for a young team than Alvin's was.
Yeah, they want to be yelled at like that student reporter at Duke the other day. That's what they're
what
looking
a sweet
for.
Guy, huh? What a sweetheart of a guy.
Scott
I hope his
Kushner.
back is okay.
Hey! At least Tennessee basketball. Well, I would say at least Tennessee basketball is good, but I guess they're kind of going through their own hiccups as well. But so is LSU. Whatever. Alabama rules everything. The world sucks. Scott Kushner at Scott D Kushner. Have a great day, man.
See you, T-Bob. Later, buddy.
All right, later, man. All right, when we get back, wrapping up the show here on Off the Bench 104.5 ESPN.
OTB, OT.
Zachary Mo, too, about your day like after the show's over. Do you get to chill all day? Yeah, my day's not bad, especially in the off season after the show. During the season, usually have a lot more stuff to do. But like today, I got to record a pod at some time. The main thing I do after the show is I know you always got to do stuff with like clients and stuff, like kind of just whatever, just work stuff. But the main thing is I turn into dad mode and I just take care of the kids so that my wife can work. But this day starts, I sat down at the computer today at 4:30 a.m. So when this ends, it's about 5.5 hours. And then I normally start working for the next day's show about 8 p.m. So, you know, you get that full 8-10 hour window, that 8 to 10 hour day. It's just kind of spread out in very odd ways. It's spread out in very odd ways. And it looks, I think the AMC dream is dead. I think the AMC dream is dead. Dude, freaking Wall Street, dude. Yeah. Did I feed you? No, not yet. What? Are you about to go? What are you about to do? You about to go to work? Where's Odie at? She asleep? All right, cool. Yes, Brian, I'm quarantined this weekend. I'll be chilling around here. Okay, Avo. Okay, what is Promise Neverland on? You're selling me. What's it on though? Let me know what it's on. Zach Mo want to interview my wife tomorrow. I don't think, Caitlin, would you be down to get interviewed? Sure. Oh, she said sure. That's a no. No, I think it'd be a recipe in awkwardness. I don't know. F it, it's Friday. I kind of agree with you, Zach. That will be the mood tomorrow. I have so many friends about to screw themselves this summer. Interview analysis would be funny on stream, maybe not. Like maybe in a commercial break, we could interview Alice, not on the radio. I don't think.
Yeah, no. More like it, yeah.
You like how I got Star Wars playing in the background?
Yeah, I saw it turn off this morning. I'm like, no, you probably did it on purpose.
Yeah, I did it on purpose. Hello, look at Luke, dude, training with Yoda, the best, the best. No, Joey, I don't know if we can put Alice on live radio. The bosses might get kind of mad at me. Feel like the Pels have a Shaq LeBron player in Zion, surround him around shooters and defensive plays good at 3-point line. Yeah, I mean, that would be the idea. It's just that there's not shooters to go around, unfortunately.
Ice cream. Ice cream.
I don't think Alice, Zach Moe asked if Alice would drop an F-bomb. I don't think Alice would drop an F-bomb, but.
Absolutely not. But the week I've been talking this week.
I'm saying, like, let's just be clear that we're not we are not exactly the cleanest mouthed individuals. And I know she's smart in how she kind of absorbs everything. So like she has F words rattling around in her brain. She just has yet to actually utter one out loud. Weedy wee. Does Mike T want to be a saint? Does he want to play? Or Mike T wants to be a saint, man. Wants to be a saint, man. Okay.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. Another edition of OTB, OT, just about in the books here. Last couple of minutes as we're hanging out with you on youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Let's get to some of the questions in there. People want me to interview my my wife or kid on stream tomorrow. Maybe, okay, we'll interview my daughter in a commercial break. I don't think I can put her on live radio. I dropped too many F-bombs in real life, and she has not said it yet, but I know she's got it just kind of rattling around in her brain back there. Weedy Wee asked, does Mike Thomas want to be a Saint or does he want to play with Urban Meyer in Jacksonville? I think Mike Thomas wants to be a Saint, man. I think this was a bad year on multiple fronts. I think a healthy Mike Thomas with his competitive drive. I mean, remember, this is the man who set the NFL record for catches in a season the year after getting paid. Mike Thomas is going to come back in a big way. Okay. So, no, I'm very bullish on Mike Thomas, and this is not the stock market. So the man can't shut him down. Roger Goodell. William Ivy asked what my wife does. She's a wedding photographer. Caitlin B Photography, a little plug there if anybody wants to hit her up. She's very good. I have Omar's wanting, trying to get me to watch more anime. Promised Neverland. Okay, might get into it. Weedy Wee, I feel the Pels have a Shaq LeBron type player in Zion, surround him in shooters, and a defense plays good around the 3-point line. Absolutely, that's the goal. It's just that those players aren't really out there to go around, unfortunately. All right. Look, huge thank you to everyone who deals with us. We continue to deal with this annoying quarantine situation. I don't mean annoying that it doesn't need to be done. It absolutely does need to be. I want to go by the best practices and not lead to any workplace outbreak. But it means that I'm at home and I miss the studio. But it's all good. Thank you to hanging out with us. Thank you to Rick Cantu and Bo Wegman and Joseph Rodriguez for setting me up here at home. It's a really great setup. Thank you to Matthew Musso for holding it down in the studio alone. And we will be back for Friday. Let's go, baby. Close out the week on a high note. A little Friday OTB coming up tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Tell your friends about it if you enjoy it. And you'll have a great day. All right, Moose. Oh, the last season of Samurai Jack.
We got some RG.
What's up? Okay, tomorrow, we're gonna have Degeneration Dome final week
before the Super Bowl. You're gonna do it this week, not next week.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Oh, so we won't have Degeneration Dome.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just have Megan on.
Okay.
And this, yeah, we'll have Megan making money on, and we'll have her give us some like prop bets or some shit. And then, we'll definitely hunt Palmer. I'm trying to think if we'll get Cole or not tomorrow.
You could talk schedule.
Yeah. Let's have Cole on. Let's have Cole on to talk schedule. So Cole, Hunt, Megan making money, tier list. That good for a tease?
Yeah.
Hi, my man. Oh man, Promised Neverland sounds really good, Avo. I am into dark horror and mindfuck anime. Like that's a very cool it's a very cool description. Yes, you can decide the tier. Okay, look, give me some tier list ideas right now. If you got any tier list ideas, I would love to hear them. I will be back in 1 minute. What? We're doing King Cake just closer to Mardi Gras.
Maybe like superheroes.
Okay. 90s to 2000 cartoons are pretty damn good. Like Nick and Cartoon Network cartoons. Okay, let me get my Google Docs out. Looking at it now. Whew, sorry, I'm out of breath. I keep trying to do that slick slide, and there's nothing worse than being able to hear yourself breathing in the mic, so I apologize, y'all. Come on, go to fucking Google Docs. What the fuck? All right, here we go. We did a Pixar movie when we originally came up with the tier list on the post show, but we have not done on the actual show. So that's in there. Okay, so let's say childhood cartoons. Give me some cartoons that would be in there. Dexter's Laboratory. Used to love Rugrats, SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Migratory Birds of Louisiana is a great topic. I mean, I don't know about you. I personally prefer the Blue Heron. Oh my God, Cat Dog, dude. Wow. Who's home alone with a little cat dog? Cow and Chicken, Doug. Okay, there we go, dude. Now we're working. Doug. Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Rocket Power. God, Rocket Power was good. Recess. Let's go. Shout out my guy Mikey. Daniel Glenn, my set of cartoons were Space Ghost and Thundar the Barbarian. I don't know what Thundar the Barbarian is, but it sounds badass. Real Monsters definitely in there. Good call. Johnny Bravo. Ed and Eddie. See, so the problem with this is I do the tier list. Well, Musso would get most of these. Musso's closer to my age, but I am a little older. And so, like, I doubt that Danny has seen any of these. Ren and Stimpy. What an odd cartoon Ren and Stimpy was. You know what has anybody watched the new Mickey Mouse cartoons on Netflix? They're like 15 minutes long. Those have very Ren and Stimpy vibes. Oh, there we go. Hey Arnold, good call. Rocco's Modern Life was fantastic. One of the best theme songs. Also, I bet you if I watched Rocko's Modern Life nowadays, it would actually be even better. I feel like Rocko's Modern Life was one of those shows that had a lot of Rocko's Modern Life was one of those shows that had a lot of kind of adult humor hidden in that I didn't think you'd appreciate. I want to start watching King of the Hill now that I'm older. I feel like King of the Hill is probably the ultimate show that you only gets better the older you get. Angry Beavers, great show there. Zachary Moe, what's a cartoon you have on VHS you always talk about? I don't know. Pirates of Dark Water. Anybody ever mess with any Pirates of Dark Water? Invader Zim. X-Men animated series. I think we already have Johnny Bravo on here. Yeah, I feel like King of the Hill probably hits different now that I'm an adult owning a house with neighbors in the burbs. I feel like I can probably appreciate it more now. Even though because of quarantine, I can't even drink with my neighbors. Freaking bummer. Chris Brooks, I feel like He-Man's a little outside of where we're talking about here, right?
Keith, throw Captain Planet on there.
Okay, Captain Planet. There we go, Moose. Great job. Great job. Good science. Captain Planet. We got Courage on there. Johnny Quest. Is Johnny Quest in it or out? I don't know because Johnny Quest, no, it's too early. That's like 60s, but Johnny Quest is timeless. Johnny Quest is amazing. Johnny Quest is probably my dad's favorite cartoon ever. He's obsessed. He has all kinds of Johnny Quest memorabilia. Tom and Jerry. I don't know if The Simpsons, Tom and Jerry, and Speed Racer really fit in this. We could do like a classic cartoons list, which would be like you're more like Tom and Jerry and all that. Bugs Bunny and Friends, Scooby-Doo. Which does Scooby-Doo fall in there? Animaniacs falls in there. Good call. Another show that I think had way more jokes that I did not get back in the day. I mean, isn't a lot of like Animaniacs like pop culture references, which I definitely did not get. I mean, out of all these shows that we've named so far, Bobby's World, dude. I used to love Bobby's World. His Wisconsin mom, her accent was so obnoxious. Oh, now we're getting old school Foghorn. What I said, I do. Foghorn Leghorn. Huckleberry Hound, Woody the Woodpecker. How did Woody's song used to go? No, he's so annoying. Like, what was the superhero bird guy dressed in white? The bad guy that looked like Predator. Do you think Gargoyles belongs in this list? Should we rank Gargoyles or SWAT Cats? I mean, SWAT Cats is to me like the ultimate D tier fodder. And you got to understand with these lists, almost everything on the list is beloved. That doesn't mean that SWAT Cats is bad, but SWAT Cats is not needed. Oh, Captain Caveman. Wow. Darkwing Duck, I guess we can put on here for sure. We got Hey Arnold on here. Oh, Danny, dude, this is going to be a big list. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, PC33, hopefully I can get a streaming setup and we could do more of this stuff outside of the show. Maybe even get some games going. That would be really cool. I hope so. So fingers crossed. We'll have to see. Thundercats. Is Thundercats? Yeah, I think of Thundercats like with He-Man. Mask. Daniel Glenn. I've never seen Mask except for YouTube videos, but the robot's name in Mask is literally T-Bob. It's T-Bob the robot. They even say T-Bob in the show. How my family managed to avoid that my entire life, I have no idea. There's no way that my dad would have known because he would have been all over that. I think OG Transformers. So we're getting into our 80s, 90s split here. OG Transformers is going to be like your Thundercats, your He-Man, all the G.I. Joe, like those Mattel shows. Mighty Max. Whoa, what the fuck? I got to Google Mighty Max. I got to remember what this was. Was that like Polly Pocket, but for guys? Oh my God, dude. I used to love Mighty Max. Wow. Am I crazy? Did they used to have Mighty Max playsets? Right? Yeah. Yeah, Robot Chicken's incredible, Brian. I think you could call Robot Chicken a cartoon. Well, it's not a cartoon, but it is animated. I'll throw Mighty Max on that list. You still have your Mighty Max toys? They were so tiny. It's like Polly Pocket. How in the world? Again, I think Voltron. We have A Arnold in there. I think Voltron is going to be. I might as well start like an '80s cartoon list while we're doing this, even though I'll never be able to speak on that. Here we go. Voltron, GI Joe, He-Man, Thundercats. Voltron was tight though. Justice League cartoon. There we go. Yeah. Super Friends can go on the classic cartoons list. Yeah, I remember the animated Globetrotter show, and then I also remember them showing up on the episode of Scooby-Doo. That's all like back in the 60s, right? But that was pretty good. The one dude with the afro could pull like anything out of the afro. Do you remember all that? All that had Bag and Sag and Barry, where he could pull anything out of his pants. Recess is on the list there, Kane, for sure. Curly just turned into a ball. What is Hey Dude? I don't remember, dude. I don't remember Hey Dude. Is that like a Nickelodeon live action show? He used to like salute your shorts. Yeah, I don't remember Hey Dude. I was too young. Kim Possible. Does Kim Possible belong on the list? We'll put it on there for now. It's close. Ooh, Inspector Gadget. Let me check the years on Inspector Gadget because I do think he's going to be in there as well. Oh, wow. Inspector Gadget's actually from the 80s? So does that mean that he goes in the 80s cartoon list? There you go. Got Darkwing Duck on there. Guts, not a cartoon, but awesome. Shout out to Mo. And who hosted Guts? It wasn't Scott Summers. It was the other dude. Scott Summers hosted everything. Freakazoid, definitely on the list. Powerpuff Girls, The Tick, good call. Great 3 there. I feel like you just Googled the list or something. Mr. Gadget, even the little known spinoff of Inspector Gadget. Oh man. Okay, look, I think we got a good ass list here. We got DuckTales on there. I don't know what Dino Riders is. Again, Nathan, 80 cartoon math. I've never seen Mask, but they have the robot T-Bob in it. How about that? Speaking of 90s, do we have any Green Lantern fans in here? Yeah, Batman the Animated Series can definitely go on there. Good call. We got Dexter's Laboratory in there. We don't have I Am Chicken, if you remember that. Got that on there now. There's like Johnny Bravo, I Am Chicken, Dexter's Lab. What was like one of the other little shows? Yes, Alvo, I have switched to a lower voice since the show ended. But yes, you are right because of that. Beast Wars. I feel like Beast Wars. Oh, Ed, and Eddie. Do we have that? I think we have Ed, and Eddie on here. Is Beast Wars 80? I feel like Beast Wars is 80. I don't know what Johnny Test is. Okay, Johnny Quest maybe is what you meant, but that would be in the classic. That's like your. Let's see. Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny. Scooby-Doo, Johnny Quest. Did anybody else ever see Pirates of Dark Water, man? Anybody ever mess with Pirates of Dark Water? You're right, Alex. I had some. I'll put Beast Wars in there. I had some Beast Wars toys back in the day. Smurfs plays, or Smurfs is probably 60s. We'll put that in the 60s list. Oh shit. Yeah, do we have any Green Lantern fans in the house though? Speaking of the 90s, this right here, Kyle Rayner, You can get all of the Kyle Rayner Green Lanterns. They put them in some great trade paperbacks. But bruh, when I tell you this is my nostalgic shit, this is my nostalgic shit. You want to talk about what is it not? There's Emerald Dawn, Emerald Twilight. Look at Hal Jordan just sitting here killing all of his old friends and compatriots, destroying the entire GL core that he said he was going to protect. I mean, look, hold on, here we go. Watch this. I mean, they got so desperate they had to bring in Sinestro to come hold it down versus Hal. But you know what happens? I mean, look at this picture, dude. I used to be obsessed with this picture when I was younger. I mean, look at that, dude. Oh my God. A man who's lost everything, 10 rings on his finger. It's all going to end here, isn't it? One way or the other. Sinestro versus Jordan. Bam, bam, bam. Crackoom, crackoom. Battle, battle, battle. Look at that. Look at that. That man straight up snaps Sinestro's neck and then walks away. That's a dead Sinestro. Yeah, he's always messing with, always telling me, you won't kill me, you won't kill me. But then here's the saddest part. Freaking kills Kilowog. But what it does, it introduces the best Green Lantern ever, which is my man, Kyle Rayner. Why is he the best Green Lantern ever? Because he's a comic book artist. So he doesn't do boring ass creations. He doesn't make like a baseball bat or a baseball glove. He only does badass shit. GoBots. G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe's on the 80s list. All right, though, y'all. I'm about to bounce. Thank you very much. I think thanks to y'all, we now have our tier list idea for tomorrow, and it's a big one, but it's a good one. It's going to be childhood cartoons. We're mainly looking at the 90s. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to send me any other ones. 253. But for real, y'all, look, it's been a weird time here recently, and it's it bums me out in a lot of ways. But it's been fun, at least that people are sticking around and hanging out still. So y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Holla, my friends.